The Chief Executive will deliver the policy address to the Council. Members, please remain standing while the Chief Executive enters the chamber. The Chief Executive. The Chief Executive will deliver the policy address to the Council. Chief Executive. President, members of the Legislative Council, members of the public. This is my fourth policy address. This year marks the conclusion of the National 14th Five-Year Plan period and the preparatory year for the 15th Five-Year Plan. This policy address serves as a roadmap for Hong Kong to strive for a vibrant economy, pursue development, and improve people's livelihood, accelerating our advancement from stability to prosperity. It also outlines a strategic plan for proactively align with national development strategies and achieve breakthroughs in forging a new landscape. My ultimate objective in governance is to improve people's livelihood with better housing for members of the public, higher income for workers, enhanced care for the elderly, and greater prospects for young people. The well-being of our people is intimately linked to the health of our economy, making economic growth the key driver of livelihood improvement. Growth creates job opportunities and wealth, which will in turn generate additional resources for public services, enabling the government to deliver more and better services. Improvement in people's livelihood will then spark new social demands that stimulate market development, further promoting economic growth. The economy and people's livelihood are mutually reinforcing. Each strengthens the other. Since taking office, I have been actively promoting reforms both within the government and in the wider community, thereby facilitating economic growth and improving people's livelihood. I have transformed and instilled in the government a culture that is result-oriented. We have been pressing ahead with the public housing production and introduced light public housing. 3 years ago, applicants for public rental housing, or PRH, waited an average of 6.1 years for a flat. The composite waiting time is now 5.1 years, a reduction of 1 full year. Over the same period, the median household income rose by $3,000, an increase of 11%. Since I assumed office, the economy has rebounded, turning from negative to positive and gaining momentum. This year's growth is projected at 2 to 3%. In the past 3 years, Hong Kong has moved up 1 place to become the 3rd-ranked global financial center and has climbed 4 spots to rank 3rd globally in overall competitiveness. In the last 2 years, we have risen 12 places to the 4th globally in talent competitiveness. Furthermore, Hong Kong is ranked 7th among the world's top 10 safest cities. The policy address this year is anchored in 2 pillars: the economy and people's livelihood. The Northern Metropolis is the new engine for Hong Kong's economic development and holds immense potential. I will accelerate its development and set up the Committee on Development of the Northern Metropolis under my guidance to formulate operational models for the various development areas therein. I will also expedite the development of the university town, streamline administrative procedures by removing barriers and easing restrictions, adopt safe, efficient, and cost-effective construction practices, and introduce dedicated legislation to fast-track the Northern Metropolis development. The government will attract and cultivate industries to create jobs and enhance productivity. Preferential policy packages will also be formulated to improve efficiency and flexibility in negotiations with enterprises that are establishing and scaling up operations, thereby creating more high-quality, high-income jobs and further boosting productivity. Under one country, two systems, Hong Kong enjoys the unique advantages of attracting overseas enterprises and assisting mainland enterprises to go global. In the past, we focused primarily on bringing in enterprises, achieving remarkable growth and success. The new opportunities ahead for Hong Kong, however, will come from helping mainland enterprises expand abroad. This rapid shift in opportunities reflects the reshaping of the global trade order, prompting mainland enterprises to shift from concentrating on a single market and towards proactively tapping into emerging markets. The government will leverage Hong Kong's strength as a platform for going global to reinforce the role of Hong Kong as an international center, capitalizing on our advantages in areas such as finance, trading, professional services, supply chain management, and professional networks, creating more jobs and higher income, further promoting the headquarters economy to unlock more business opportunities. We will also develop education, technology, and talent in an integrated manner, and press ahead with the integrated development of culture, sports, and tourism, enabling the people of Hong Kong to live in a community with thriving economy and a vibrant culture. To strengthen governance, I will establish an accountability for heads of department or HODs by systematizing and institutionalizing their responsibility for their departments, and enhance the appraisal system for civil servants so that a culture of continuous improvement can take root. I will also set up the AI Efficacy Enhancement Team to drive technological reform, coordinating and steering government departments in the effective use of artificial intelligence technology in the re-engineering of outdated workflows. Meanwhile, I will promote the development of AI Plus with strong emphasis on safety risk prevention and implement AI government services and facilitate the wide-scale application and development of AI across different sectors in society to boost overall efficiency. I will also put into practice the philosophy of better integration of an efficient market with a capable government and introduce market-based business model to enhance the services of the Leisure and Cultural Services Department. This policy address concludes with the most extensive chapter concerning people's livelihood. It encompasses 9 critical areas which are essential to the well-being of the community, covering land and housing, transport, healthcare, social welfare, labor protection, and a caring and inclusive society, under which may include continuously increasing public housing supply to enrich the housing ladder, creating land for large development projects, prompting long-term economic development and addressing housing needs while increasing government land reserve, continuing healthcare reform, implementing 11 measures to support local economy, continuing the work on targeted poverty alleviation, promoting the principle of aging in place as the core with institutional care as backup, supporting and protecting workers, and establishing the Working Group on Aging Society Strategies to meet the challenges brought by aging. These demonstrate my commitment to placing people's livelihood at the heart of governance. Indeed, economic development ultimately serves the well-being of our people, enabling them to enjoy better quality of life. Resolutely implement the one country, two systems principle. One country, two systems remains unchanged. As President Xi Jinping pointed out, one country, two systems possesses its distinctive institutional strengths and strong vitality. It's a good system that sustains the long-term prosperity and stability of Hong Kong and Macau. It is a good system that facilitates endeavors to build China into a great country and achieve national rejuvenation. And it is a good system for ensuring peaceful coexistence and mutual benefit between different social systems. So we must stay committed to this cause. We will continue to fully, faithfully, and resolutely implement one country, two systems. Hong Kong people administering Hong Kong and a high degree of autonomy. One country, two systems is the best institutional arrangement for maintaining Hong Kong's long-term prosperity and stability. The more firmly the one country principle is upheld, the greater the strength the two systems will be unleashed. Being a global metropolis, Hong Kong has remained an open, inclusive, safe, and stable city underpinned by the rule of law since our return to the motherland 28 years ago. With an ever-expanding influence internationally, Hong Kong is rated the world's freest economy, as well as an advanced and business-friendly city. These fully demonstrate the notable institutional strength and great vitality of one country, two systems. Hong Kong has solid backing from the motherland, enjoying far-reaching opportunities brought by national development from the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Greater Bay Area to the Belt and Road Initiative. Meanwhile, as an international city with its distinctive role of connecting to the rest of the world, Hong Kong also has infinite room for improvement. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government will, as always, maintain the constitutional order of the HKFP as stipulated under the Constitution and the Basic Law, ensuring the steadfast and successful implementation of one country, two systems. The fundamental premise of one country, two systems is to safeguard sovereignty, security, and development interests of our nation. Since the implementation of the Hong Kong National Security Law 5 years ago, we have overcome turmoil and unrest and maintained safety and stability in our society. Hong Kong has transitioned from chaos to order and is now advancing from stability to prosperity. The Hong Kong SAR government will continue to steadfastly safeguard national sovereignty, security, and development interests while thoroughly adopting the holistic approach to national security. We will remain vigilant at all times, prevent and mitigate risks, and ensure the long-term stability and safety of Hong Kong. We will continue to enhance the legal system and enforcement mechanism for safeguarding national security, doing our utmost to ensure that laws are observed and strictly enforced to bring offenders to account so as to prevent, suppress, and impose punishment for acts and activities endangering national security. The government will spare no effort in promoting national security education. Since its opening a year ago, the National Security Exhibition Gallery has already attracted over 1 million visitors. More than 3,300 national security education district tutors have been trained to promote national security messages to the community. With the improved electoral system and district governance system of the HKSAR, the principle of patriots administering Hong Kong has been fully implemented. The HKSAR government has held 6 important elections, including the recent election committee subsector by-elections. The HKSAR will devote all efforts in preparing for the general election for the 8th Term Legislative Council to be held on the 7th of December this year, ensuring that the election is conducted in a fair, just, honest, safe, and orderly manner. As part of the reforms to improve district governance, the government set up the Steering Committee on District Governance and the Task Force on District Governance in July 2023. They are chaired by the Chief Secretary for Administration and the Deputy Chief Secretary for Administration, respectively, with the aim of strengthening coordination to address issues such as environmental hygiene, community beautification, facility development, and community services more effectively. The Home and Youth Affairs Bureau and the Home Affairs Department will continue to lead district councils, the 3 district committees, and care teams to proactively harness local strength to foster compassion and vibrancy within the community. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and in the World Anti-Fascist War. The HKSAR government has organized a series of large-scale commemorative activities, including exhibitions, film screenings, and library events for the public to gain a deeper understanding of the spirit of unity and resilience displayed by Chinese people in the fight for peace. We will collaborate with Shenzhen to promote a new red educational route under the theme of Chinese cultural celebrity rescue history so as to enhance understanding among people of Hong Kong and tourists of the history of the War of Resistance in Hong Kong. We will comprehensively review and conduct restoration and protection work on historic sites relating to the participation of the Communist Party of China in the War of Resistance in various districts, with a view to integrating them into tourism route and educational activities. The government will give full play to the role of the Chinese Culture Promotion Office. This includes curating the Chinese Culture Festival and exhibitions of the General History of China series as signature projects and spearheading the establishment of a museum to showcase the development and achievements of our country, as well as the Chinese Culture Experience Center. The office will also continue to launch a broad spectrum of community-oriented initiatives to promote Chinese culture. The government will promote patriotic education facilities in the mainland, making them the patriotic education basis of the HKSAR to encourage more students and young people to visit. We will establish close connection with patriotic groups to unite efforts in organizing more patriotic education activities. The Education Bureau will integrate our patriotic education into daily learning and teaching. We will popularize the Love Our Home, Treasure Our Country series of activities, continuously strengthen the Constitution and Basic Law Student Ambassadors Training Scheme, design itineraries for students to experience the founding history of our country, and conduct focused inspections on national education. We will also continue to provide professional development and activities for teachers and students that tie in with the updated national security education, promulgate the final version of the values education curriculum framework, and optimize the curriculum frameworks for the senior secondary Chinese history and history subject. Establish the heads of department accountability system. Since assuming office, I have been constantly taking forward reforms to build a result-oriented government. In the World Competitiveness Yearbook 2025, Hong Kong ranked second globally in government efficiency, reflecting well on Hong Kong's civil servants being an outstanding team and the reforms introduced by the current term government, alongside the concerted efforts of the civil service. Nevertheless, given the large number of executive departments and officers in the government, problems inevitably occur in individual departments. The causes behind them must be identified in good time and rectified to prevent them from undermining the overall trust that society places in the government, and to avoid causing injustice to the overwhelming majority of our civil servants who are dedicated to their duties. I believe that effective management is of utmost importance. Senior civil servants are all responsible for management. I have therefore been considering ways to strengthen their sense of responsibility to enhance the overall management standard of the department. After considerations, I believe that the most direct and effective way to strengthen the accountability of the HODs by clearly emphasizing that HODs are tasked to build a strong management team and lead their senior civil servants to jointly manage staff and operation systems. While HODs have always been responsible for the work of their departments, the government has not yet institutionalized overall accountability. Establishing a heads of department accountability system, therefore, is of critical significance. The details are as follows. Aims. Establishing the HOD accountability system has the following primary aims. First, to render the political accountability required of secretaries of department and directors of bureau in policy formulation, and the administrative accountability required of civil servants in implementing policy initiatives better articulated with each other, with clarification of their respective roles. Second, to drive HODs to establish an effective management team and operating systems, eliminating bottlenecks and plugging shortfalls, improving workflow on an ongoing basis, and continuously enhancing departmental efficiency. Third, to identify the deficiencies whenever a problem occurs in the department, putting in place improvements, attributing responsibility to the appropriate parties, and taking administrative or disciplinary actions against those responsible in accordance with the civil service management regime. The consequences include warnings, reprimands, not being granted a salary increment, relegation in rank, reduction in salary, compulsory retirement, and even dismissal. The investigation mechanism. Investigations will be divided into two tiers in accordance with the severity of the problems identified. Tier 1. If the problems are of a general nature, the investigation should be taken up by the HOD concerned. They will be responsible for identifying the deficiencies of the department and putting in place improvements, taking forward administrative or disciplinary actions against the officers who have underperformed or engaged in misconduct in accordance with the civil service management regime. Tier 2. If a serious problem occurs in a department or the problem is widespread or a repetitive systemic one, or there are indications that the HOD concerned is implicated in the problem, the investigation will be carried out by an investigation panel set up specifically under the HOD accountability system. The panel will identify the deficiencies of the department and attribute responsibility to the appropriate parties, and should be independent from the government such that the investigation will be impartial and independent, and should be able to examine civil servants of all ranks to ensure that the investigation is thorough, and should be familiar with the general operation of the government to ensure that the investigation is completed efficiently, and should be a standing team to be called upon, ensuring its certainty and readiness. To achieve the aforementioned aims, I will expand the existing functions of the Public Service Commission to enable it to conduct investigations. Independent of the government and in operation for many years, the Commission is conversant with the management system of the civil service. Its current statutory functions include advising the Chief Executive on matters affecting the public service, including disciplinary cases of civil servants. The existing functions of the Commission do not cover investigation, extending its functions to include investigation and inviting experts or government officials not related to the department being investigated to participate can ensure both the independence and impartiality of the investigations concerned, as well as the efficiency of the investigation, thereby achieving the four requirements set out previously. The government will make subsidiary legislation under the Public Service Commission Ordinance to implement the above proposal. Activation mechanism. When a situation as described previously occurs in a department, the relevant bureau or director of bureau must report it to the secretary of department concerned. Upon obtaining the latter's agreement, the director of bureau should activate the Tier 2 independent investigation mechanism. The secretary of department concerned can also, on their own initiative, direct the relevant director of bureau to activate the investigation mechanism. Strengthening the performance appraisal system for civil servants. The overall performance of civil servants is fundamental to the effectiveness of departments. A fair and honest assessment of staff performance can encourage good performance to strive for excellence and suitably handle staff who have underperformed or misconducted themselves. In this connection, establishing an effective performance appraisal system will help HODs enhance the overall effectiveness of the department, raise the morale of good performance, assist those with room for improvement to improve their capability, and handle the small number of staff involved in misconduct in a fair manner. The Civil Service Bureau is tasked to conduct a study developing a more rigorous performance appraisal system that reflects and differentiates the performance levels of staff more effectively. Apart from assessing the performance of senior civil servants, including HODs, in accordance with the existing mechanism, secretaries of department and directors of bureau will need to supervise the senior civil servants under their charge to properly perform personnel management work for staff at all ranks, including performance appraisal, posting, promotion, and discipline. Set up an AI efficacy enhancement team. The application of AI in the work of the government can effectively enhance efficiency. The Census and Statistics Department, for example, has applied AI technology to examine trade data and to retrieve financial information from the financial statements and announcements of thousands of listed companies for statistical compilation. This has resulted in an exponential surge in efficiency. The 1823 services also use AI technology to recognize automatically voice inquiries from members of the public and help draft written responses, reducing about 30% of the processing time. To further enhance the efficacy of the government, I will set up the AI efficacy enhancement team to coordinate and steer government departments to, first, apply AI technology effectively to their work. Second, explore process re-engineering to keep pace with the times. And third, promote technological reform in departments to efficacy. The team will be led by the Deputy Chief Secretary for Administration, with the Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, and the Commissioner for Digital Policy serving as the Deputy Leader and Secretary General, respectively. The team will also invite a representative from the private sector to serve as another Deputy Leader to bring in new perspectives and frontline market experience. The team will examine with government departments their need for reform, with priority given to departments with greater interface with the public. Departments may also initiate requests to the team for prioritized assistance in enhancing their efficacy or efficiency.
Accelerating the development of the Northern Metropolis. The Northern Metropolis, our city's strategic development area bordering Shenzhen, covers land area and a planned population intake accounting for about 1/3 of Hong Kong's total. It therefore represents a substantial source of economic value and development potential, creating many jobs and boosting productivity. While the government has been speeding up the development of the Northern Metropolis for the past few years, I remain deeply concerned about its progress, given the sheer size of the area and the magnitude of the investment required. To further develop our economy and improve people's livelihood, we must speed up the North Metropolis development. Accordingly, I have decided to raise the level of decision-making by establishing the Committee on Development of the North Metropolis under my leadership. The committee will be tasked with streamlining administrative workflows and removing unnecessary barriers and restrictions. Embracing a new mindset, we will adopt safe, cost-efficient, and time-saving construction methods, materials, and equipment from different jurisdictions. We will also introduce dedicated legislation to accelerate the development of the North Metropolis. With the overall planning of the North Metropolis, it is now the optimal juncture to expedite the development of the area, bringing in industries and major projects. I will establish and chair the Committee on Development of North Metropolis, under which the following 3 working groups will be set up. 1 working group on devising, development, and operation models. Led by the Financial Secretary, the working group will formulate development and operation models for industry parks in the North Metropolis, taking into account the nature and scale. This will include setting up 1 or more dedicated companies or statutory or non-statutory bodies for various industrial parks, devising public-private partnership approaches such as the build, operate, transfer model. It will also explore shifting from highest bidder wins to industry-linked two-envelope approach for tendering. We will devise a range of financing schemes, including equity, bonds, government injections, and provision of land as a form of capital participation. The Development Bureau is conducting policy study to set up an industry park company for about 23 hectares of industry land at Hongshui-Q. The recommendations will be announced this year after reporting to the working group. 2 working group on planning and construction of the university town. Led by the Chief Secretary for Administration, the working group studied the development mold for the North Metropolis University town. It will set up a research task force to conduct field trips on the successful models of university towns elsewhere, seeking views from precedents and models and representatives of local, mainland, and other internationally renowned universities. It will also explore the possible way forward to deeply integrate industry development with the academic sectors where Hong Kong has an edge, alongside the strategies for attracting leading universities and research institutes in the mainland and overseas to establish a base in Hong Kong. 3 batches of sites for the North Metropolis University town will be available for use in 2026 Hongshui-Q, 2028 Aotamei, and 2030 New Territories North Newtown respectively at the earliest. The working group will make recommendations on the positioning and vision regarding the development of these sites to devise a clear industry-led approach. The land in the Hongshui-Q Hajin New Development Area NDA, for example, will integrate with nearby high-end professional services as well as vocational and professional education and training facilities for joint development. The land in Yaotamei can dovetail with the overall innovation and technology INT development of Santin Technopole and Loop, among others, life and health technology industries, and to be used for joint development with the 3rd Medical School and an integrated medical teaching and research hospital. 3 working group on planning and development, led by the Deputy Financial Secretary. The working group will be responsible for managing the end-to-end process from planning to implementation, coordinating and consolidating such aspects as planning, engineering, land, transportation, and environmental protection to promote industry anchoring, create job opportunities, and enhance productivity. A dedicated project supervision office will be set up under the working group to strengthen the coordination and supervision of the approval process, imposing time limits and phase reporting to accelerate progress. The government will streamline administrative procedures, removing barriers and restrictions. Relevant measures include 1. Introducing the fast-track processing system, adopting superior construction methods from different places, and integrate successful construction technologies, materials, and equipment from the mainland and overseas in a bid to reduce construction costs and time. 2. Implementing a phased development approach on a trial basis with reference to the mainland's 1.5 level development concept. Specifically, pilot low-density facilities such as retail, entertainment, and convention and exhibition facilities will be developed initially to attract businesses, bringing income and footfall to the area to create momentum before long-term development is rolled out. We will invite market feedback on such approach of phased development for the commercial sites in Hongshui-Q. 3. Adopting diverse models such as in-situ land exchange and large-scale land disposal to promote market participation and expedite development. 4. employing flexible land grant arrangements, encouraging enterprises to set up businesses and invest in the area. Such granted as tenancy instead of land lease may have a term exceeding 7 years to provide greater flexibility. Depending on industry policies, open tendering, restricted tendering, or direct land grants may be adopted. 5. Allowing landowners in the Northern Metropolis to voluntarily surrender land planned to be resumed by the government to offset the amount payable for in situ land exchange or large-scale land disposals in NDAs. This will promote market participation in the development. 6. Adopting a pay-for-what-you-build approach to reduce the cost of land premiums in the Northern Metropolis. In lease modifications, subject to the condition of the land parcels involved, owners will be allowed to pay the required premium according to the actual build floor area and use rather than the maximum floor area based on the maximum plot ratio under the current planning regime. We will also consider allowing developers to pay land premium in phases according to the development scale. 7. Commencing a land use review for Ngao Tau to capitalize on the development potential brought by the Northern Link. We will consider a larger proportion of private housing in the area around Sha Po at Ngao Tau Station for development into an NDA, New Development Area. We will engage the Mass Transit Railway Corporation Limited, or MTRCL for short, to conduct the review, announcing its results next year. Where appropriate, we may also apply the above administrative measures to areas outside the Northern Metropolis. I will introduce dedicated legislation to accelerate the development of Northern Metropolis, empowering the government to devise simplified statutory procedures for issues including setting up statutory industry park companies and providing them with dedicated channels for funding, managing the cross-boundary flow of people, goods, capital, data, and biological samples in designated areas, to attract research institutes and high-end manufacturers to establish a presence in Hong Kong, speeding up the approval of building plans, relaxing permitted uses in outline zoning plans, OZPs for short, and fine-tuning development perimeters and expediting compensation payment for land resumption. Expedite the development of the loop. The Hetao-Shenzhen-Hong Kong Science and Technology Innovation Cooperation Zone, or the Cooperation Zone for short, is located on both sides of the Shenzhen River, comprising Shenzhen Park and Hong Kong Park. Leveraging the advantages of One Zone, Two Parks, the Cooperation Zone will promote collaboration between the two parks in the development of INT. The construction of the first 3 buildings in Phase 1 of the Hong Kong Park of the Cooperation Zone has been completed. The construction of the other 5 buildings will be completed progressively from 2027. The government will roll out parcels of the remaining land in Phase 1 this year. We'll complete Phase 2 planning for the development scale and distribution of industries to finalize Hong Kong Park's overall layout, and consider offering workspaces flexibly to companies under the moving in while construction is underway approach. This will enable them to move in earlier without having to wait for the completion of the entire park construction. The Santin Tunnel Pub, spanning about 210 hectares of land for INT, will serve as a strategic base for the INT industry. The government will publish the conceptual outline of the development plan for the innovation and technology industry in the Santin Tunnel Pub this year. It will cover top-level planning, industry positioning and layout, the coordinated development of land parcels, and strategies for channeling market resources to invest in the development, expedite transport, infrastructural development. To dovetail with the development of the Northern Metropolis, construction works of Kutong Station and Hongshui Q Station are proceeding in full swing for completion in 2027 and 2030 respectively. Adopting an innovative mindset, the government has signed the Part 1 project agreement with the MTRCL. It will concurrently develop the Northern Link spur line in combination with the main line, achieving simultaneous commissioning by 2034 or earlier. Cross-boundary railway projects will lead to the comprehensive integration of metro networks in Hong Kong and Shenzhen, significantly enhancing the GBA's infrastructure connectivity and boosting industry's confidence in setting up operations. We are pressing ahead with the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Lancashire Tianhai project and have invited expressions of interest from contractors and operators on the Hong Kong section of the project. Industries are the cornerstone of economic development. The government will leverage market forces through enhanced measures such as flexible land grant arrangements, tax concessions, capital subsidies, and talent grooming, so as to drive industry development. The service industry accounts for a significant share of our economy. In response to an increasingly dynamic market environment and rapid technological change, the government will pursue structural upgrades of our industries. We will consolidate our traditional strengths in sectors such as financial and legal services while actively nurturing emerging ones, including advanced manufacturing, life and health technology, new energy, AI, and data science to create more high-quality job opportunities, increasing people's income and enhancing overall economic efficiency. Formulate preferential policy packages to attract more enterprises. The Financial Secretary will lead the relevant policy bureaus, departments, and public organizations in formulating packages of preferential policies, including land grants, land premiums, financial subsidies, tax incentives to attract high-value-added industries and high-potential enterprises to set up in Hong Kong, thereby promoting high-quality development. The Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises and Invest Hong Kong can use the policy packages flexibly during negotiations with enterprises on settlement details, then report to the Financial Secretary for approval. The government will also explore the establishment of a more flexible mechanism, including allowing the Chief Executive and the Financial Secretary to introduce tax incentives that comply with international standards. The government attaches great importance to fostering high-value-added advanced manufacturing using I&T and promoting new industrialization. The government will set up its efforts to nurture emerging industries locally and attract those from outside Hong Kong, promoting the diversified development of our economy. The government has reached an agreement of intent with a leading European aeronautic services company to operate in Hong Kong. The company will provide aircraft dismantling as well as recycling and trading services of high-value parts. This will drive the development of industries such as trading, insurance, financing, and leasing, creating new job opportunities through the sectors of value chain. The company will also collaborate with the Hong Kong International Aviation Academy to provide talent training in relevant professions, which will in turn consolidate Hong Kong's status as an international aviation hub. We will attract more pharmaceutical companies to set up operations in Hong Kong to conduct clinical trials and medical treatments for rare disease drugs, high-end cancer drugs, and advanced therapy products. We will proactively enhance the efficiency and patient recruitment and trial initiation. Will also make use of the GBA clinical trial collaboration platform in the Hatao area, enabling pharmaceutical companies to conduct trials simultaneously in Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Concurrently, we will prepare to set up the International Clinical Trial Academy for nurturing clinical trial professionals in the GBA and host international summits and forums. The government will set up the Hong Kong Center for Medical Products Regulation and submit a legislative proposal on regulating medical devices in 2026, with a view to establishing the center as an internationally recognized regulatory authority for medical products as soon as possible. We will expedite the 1+ mechanism for new drugs, piloting priority evaluation and approval of innovative drugs recommended by the HA for treatment of severe or rare diseases. This will have pharmaceutical companies bring innovative drugs to the market sooner. We will promote the standardization of clinical data within the GBA and establish a real-world data platform to have pharmaceutical companies bring innovative drugs to the mainland and international markets more quickly. The HA will establish the Office for Introducing Innovative Drugs and Medical Devices. It will identify the needs and benefits of innovative drug treatments for local patients through big data analytics, bringing in innovative drugs and medical devices that are cost-effective and beneficial to patients. Promote the development of the new energy industry. To meet the country's dual carbon targets, Hong Kong is working to achieve carbon neutrality before 2050, in which the new energy industry will play a crucial role. will speed up the application of green technologies, creating quality employment opportunities, and build an influential industry chain of new quality productive forces. Relevant measures are as follows. One, we will develop a sustainable aviation fuel or SAF for short industry chain. Major airports and airlines in Europe, America, and Asia have gradually raised their SAF consumption targets. We will work with the mainland authorities to enable the local enterprise, one of the world's major SAF suppliers, to develop its business in the GBA, covering upstream collection of raw materials, the setting up of production plants and large-scale production, to dovetail with the specified target SAF consumption ratio for flights departing from the Hong Kong International Airport by 2030. A SAF blending facility will also be constructed to boost the competitiveness of our SAF industry and bolster the bargaining power of airlines. Two, the government has made top-level planning in its strategy of hydrogen development in Hong Kong announced last year, and 28 hydrogen energy trial projects are underway or under preparation. These projects cover hydrogen buses, hydrogen street washing vehicles, and a public hydrogen filling station in the NT. We will formulate hydrogen standard certification, establish public hydrogen filling facilities on Hong Kong Island and Kowloon, press ahead with more trial projects, and develop the GBA hydrogen corridor in collaboration with the Guangdong province. Three, the government is pushing forward the construction of Hong Kong's first large-scale EV battery recycling facility at the Eco Park, expected to commence operation in the first half of 2026. The recycled black mass converted from locally retired batteries will be supplied to the mainland and the neighboring regions, promoting the development of the EV battery recycling industries. AI is a key driving force of a new round of scientific and technological revolution, as well as industry transformation. With our advantages in scientific research, capital, data, and talent, together with abundant use cases, Hong Kong is poised to become a global hub for AI development. We will set up the promotion of AI as a core industry for Hong Kong's development, guided by the strategy of strengthening infrastructure and promoting the application-oriented approach. We'll promote the development of AI Plus and facilitate an extensive and deep integration of AI across sectors in order to achieve industries for AI and AI for industries, while placing strong emphasis on safety risk prevention. The government has bolstered its efforts to nurture local and attract overseas and mainland AI professionals. Relevant measures include setting up the Air at Inno Hong Kong Research Cluster that pulled over 1,000 experts, combined with nearly 1,000 AI companies that have gathered in our I&T parks. This helps to enhance our AI R&D capabilities and lay the foundations for wide-ranging AI applications. The government earlier announced the launch of the $3 billion Frontier Technology Research Support Scheme. It will help funded universities to attract international top-notch scientific researchers in AI and other fields to Hong Kong to spearhead basic research in frontier technologies. The scheme will invite applications soon. We've also earmarked $1 billion for the establishment of the Hong Kong AI Research and Development Institute in 2026 to facilitate upstream AI R&D, the midstream and downstream R&D outcome, and the expansion of use cases. Hong Kong has developed full-fledged financing channels covering angel investment, venture capital, private equity funds, patient capital, and IPOs, effectively linking capital and quality projects around the world. The Hong Kong Investment Corporation Limited, Hong Kong IC, as to patient capital institution wholly owned by the government, has invested in a number of AI enterprises engaging businesses in fields such as AI LLMs, cloud computing, and AI drug development. It will continue to support the development of the AI industry through developments. Hong Kong will further capitalize on the advantages under one country, two systems, and promote the early establishment of a compliant and secure mechanism for cross-boundary flow of mainland data to Hong Kong Park for scientific research purposes, supporting AI application testing and innovation. With the establishment of the Cyberport's AI Supercomputing Center and the government's launch of the AI subsidy scheme, we put up for tender a site of about 10 hectares at Sandy Ridge in the North District this year for the development of a data facility cluster. It will provide advanced computing power facilities, promoting the development of data and AI industries. The development of AI must be steered by safety and driven by application. The government attaches great importance to the governance and risk management of AI applications. Information systems of the government and public organization must undergo repeated testing, audits, and continuous monitoring to security. Meanwhile, the widespread application of AI can create greater value to our society. Under the leadership of the AI Advocacy Enhancement Team, the government will promote AI applications in government services. The Digital Policy Office will roll out various AI applications in respect of data analysis, customer service, and document processing to promote extensive application in departments while ensuring security and controllability. The departments will also develop their own AI solutions. Examples include using AI to help the public to make non-emergency reports to the police and via voice messages, and expedite the vetting and approval of transport licenses, enhance traffic management by diverting traffic flow according to real-time data, bringing convenience to members of the public by providing the AI assistant for users of the IM Smart and the digital corporate ID platforms to answer inquiries and offer personalized services, as well as to recommend suitable funding schemes and public service support for enterprises, especially SMEs, render care support through an AI chatbot to give carers more convenient access to information, improve the accuracy of histopathological and cytological analysis by introducing digital pathology technology and the application of AI, and enhance patient care efficiency, hospital management, and service quality by promoting the application of generative AI in clinical workflows. The government will also promote AI business applications. The Hong Kong MA, in collaboration with Cyberport, has launched the second cohort of the AI Sandbox initiative to promote AI applications to more financial institutions. In addition, the Hong Kong MA is developing an AI model evaluation approach to step up testing on the system security of financial institutions. The Development Bureau will provide subsidies to encourage the application of AI in private sector construction works. The DOJ will also establish an interdepartmental working group to review the legislation needed to support a wider application of AI.
進行
Integrating into the overall national development. As the world's second largest economy, our country contributes more than a third of the global economic growth, representing the greatest opportunity for Hong Kong's development. We will fully integrate into the overall national development, capitalizing on national strategies such as the GBA and high-quality cooperation under the PNR initiative. In addition, this year is the preparatory year for the National 15th Five-Year Plan. Leveraging Hong Kong's unique advantages, we will contribute to the national development and deepen international exchanges and cooperation by connecting with the mainland and the world. We will also attract more enterprises to use Hong Kong to expand overseas, thereby creating business opportunities and economic returns. China's external direct investment exceeded 1 trillion RMB last year, underscoring the growing global demand for made-in-China products. Mainland enterprises are accelerating their pace to go global. With a shift in strategic focus, mainland enterprises are proactively exploring emerging markets. The government will capitalize on the advantages of Hong Kong as an export platform to unlock new areas of economic growth. Mainland enterprises are going global can establish corporate treasury centers and regional headquarters in Hong Kong for cross-boundary settlement, remittance, financing, and related functions. They can also tap Hong Kong's professional high-value-added supply chain services in fields such as accounting and law to help them explore overseas markets. In addition, they can leverage Hong Kong's strengths in marketing to connect with global buyers and build international brands. In last year's policy address, I announced that we will develop Hong Kong into a high-value-added supply chain service center, attracting more enterprises to establish a presence in Hong Kong and expanding our headquarters economy. In 2024, Hong Kong was home to more than 1,400 regional headquarters of non-local enterprises, over 300 of which were from the mainland. I will establish a one-stop platform by mobilizing Hong Kong's overseas offices, including those under Invest Hong Kong and the Hong Kong HATDC, as well as the Hong Kong offices in the mainland, and set up the task force of supporting mainland enterprises in going global to encourage mainland enterprises to use Hong Kong in expanding their businesses overseas. The Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development will steer the work of Go Global Task Force and coordinate various bureaus, departments, and agencies in formulating proposals for enterprises looking to go global. The details are as follows. The HKFP will encourage the banking sector, especially banks in the mainland, to establish regional headquarters in Hong Kong, where Hong Kong's strengths can help them expand into markets such as Southeast Asia and the Middle East. We will also attract more mainland enterprises to establish corporate treasury centers in Hong Kong. The HKFP has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia to establish a $1 billion new investment fund. The HKFP will collaborate with organizations such as the Hong Kong Association of Banks and other organizations to lead delegations of banking representatives and SMEs to tap business opportunities in Southeast Asia. The government will leverage the strengths of Hong Kong's exhibition industry and consolidate our position as an ideal platform for mainland brands to go global. We will also promote the development of carbon audit services to assist enterprises going global. The government will assist the local media to expand their network beyond Hong Kong, telling good stories of Hong Kong. We will actively invite the Asian Infrastructure Investment Banks to set up an office in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Stock and Clearing Limited. The Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing Limited will also deepen cooperation with Southeast Asian exchanges, attracting Southeast Asian issuers to seek secondary listings in Hong Kong and encouraging asset management companies to issue products in the local market. The Belt and Road Office will coordinate local public organizations and the institutes to help train the personnel of Belt and Road countries. It will also strive for more opportunities to match commercial projects in Belt and Road markets. As one of its core cities, Hong Kong plays a vital role in driving the GBA's development. It also plays an irreplaceable part in our country's reform and opening up. The government will continue to take the lead in dovetailing with national strategies and integrating into the country's overall development in a more proactive manner. We will strengthen mutually beneficial cooperation with Guangdong and Macau and deepen coordinated development. We will continue to deepen our cooperation with Guangdong and Macau, forging closer convergence of our respective rules and mechanisms to enhance the flow of people, goods, data, and capital. The measures are developing the Hong Kong International Airport Dongguan Logistics Park. This is the most successful model of GBA cooperation. Phase 1 development's permanent facilities will be completed in stages, starting from the end of this year. The preliminary stage of Phase 2 development is also set to commence this year, including the introduction of more high-value-added logistics and cross-boundary e-commerce facilities. Second, promoting a panel of GBA arbitrators and a platform for GBA commercial mediation and arbitration to lower enterprises' costs of cross-boundary dispute resolution. Third, extending cross-boundary ambulance transfer arrangements with the governments of Guangdong and Macau, including two-way ambulance transfers and expansion to cover designated hospitals in Zhuhai and Nansha. Fourth, enhancing cross-boundary credit referencing and the Shenzhen-Hong Kong cross-boundary data validation platform to facilitate Hong Kong's banks' credit assessment of mainland residents and enterprises in Hong Kong. Continuously enhancing the Payment Connect service, expanding the use cases for remittance related to people's livelihood. The government will improve disbursement arrangements to portable cash assistance next year so that Hong Kong elderly recipients retiring in Guangdong and Fujian provinces can opt to receive government assistance directly through their bank account with designated mainland banks. Sixth, working with exchanges in the Greater Bay Area to develop commodity trading, carbon trading, and other businesses. The HKEX, a controlling shareholder of the Shanghai Mercantile Exchange, will continue to strengthen mutual cooperation for the development of the offshore spot soybean market. Core Climate, the carbon marketplace of the HKEX, will collaborate with pilot carbon markets in the GBA to explore cross-boundary trade settlements on a trial basis. Seventh, boosting collaboration between the Hong Kong Investment Corporation and the Guangdong government to help Hong Kong's enterprises with high technology content, such as biotech and health tech startups, to strengthen cross-border industry chain development. Nansha will be the key base for the first phase. Eighth, the Financial Services and the Treasury Bureau is working with Shenzhen and Shanghai to promote digital finance development and support deeper integration of technology and finance between Shenzhen and Hong Kong. Measures are expected to be announced later this year. Consolidate Hong Kong's status as an international hub. International Financial Center. Hong Kong has reclaimed its third-place position in the Global Financial Centers Index ranking. Building on this momentum, we will harness the asset reallocation wave of global investors to cement our status as an international financial center. Our strategy will deepen the equity market. The Hang Seng Index rose by more than 20%, with the average daily turnover reaching $250 billion, nearly double that of last year. The cumulative amount of funds raised through IPO proceeds exceeded $130 billion. We will leverage the technology enterprises channel to assist mainland technology enterprises in raising funds in Hong Kong, strengthening financial support for our nation's development as a science and technology powerhouse. We will also work on the weighted voting rights structure, explore shortening the stock settlement cycle to T+1, encouraging more overseas companies to seek secondary listing in Hong Kong, support China concept stock markets to return from overseas with Hong Kong as the preferred destination, and press ahead with the inclusion of an RMB trading counter under Stock Connect's southbound trading for Hong Kong stocks. The government will further consolidate Hong Kong's position as a bond market hub. These measures include enhancing financial infrastructure, including the collaboration between Hong Kong MA's CMU on the Clear and the HKEX, to explore centralized management and the cross-collateralization of assets, such as shares and bonds by investors on a single market, with a view to fostering interplay between various mutual market access mechanisms. We will also establish connections with markets such as Switzerland and the United Arab Emirates, and promote the use of offshore Chinese government bonds as collateral in different clearing houses to further enrich the use cases of RMB assets. The Securities and Futures Commission is also studying the feasibility of an innovative electronic bond trading platform built and operated by market participants. It is also promoting the establishment of a commercial repo market and a central counterparty regime in Hong Kong to improve market liquidity. Second, continuing our discussions with relevant mainland institutions on introducing offshore treasury bond futures in Hong Kong, expand the variety of interest rate derivatives under Swap Connect, promote the development of over-the-counter derivatives, and explore the launch of the cross-boundary RMB repo business in collaboration with the mainland in due course. Third, stepping up market outreach efforts by the SFC, the HKMA, and the HKEX to encourage more enterprises to issue corporate bonds in Hong Kong, attracting capital from around the globe to participate in our bond market. Fourth, the SFC and the HKMA will set out relevant details of these measures in the fixed income and currency roadmap to be published. To enhance the liquidity and global reach of the offshore RMB market in Hong Kong, the HKMA will make use of the currency swap agreement with the People's Bank of China and introduce an RMB business facility, providing enterprises with the longer-term RMB financing required for trade, daily operation, and capital expenditure, so as to support the use of RMB in the real economy. It will also continue to explore diversified channels for cross-boundary capital acquisition, so as to provide a stable source of RMB funds for the market at a relatively low cost. The HKMA will also explore measures to facilitate foreign exchange quotations and transactions between RMB and other regional currencies in Hong Kong. The government will issue more RMB bonds and consider settling government expenditure in RMB under suitable circumstances. International gold trading market. I have accepted the recommendations of the working group on promoting gold market development. The FSTB will implement the measures. These measures include supporting the Airport Authority Hong Kong and financial institutions to establish Hong Kong's gold storage facilities with a target gold storing capacity of over 2,000 tons in 3 years, for propelling Hong Kong into a regional gold reserve hub. Second, encouraging gold traders to set up or expand refineries in Hong Kong, and exploring with the mainland the feasibility of processing supplied materials in the mainland to produce refined gold for exporting to Hong Kong for trading and delivery. Third, establishing a central clearing system for gold in Hong Kong to provide efficient and reliable clearing services for transactions of gold in compliance with international standards, and inviting the participation of the Shanghai Gold Exchange to prepare for mutual market access with the mainland in the future. Fourth, offering a greater variety of gold investment vehicles by assisting issuers in issuing gold funds and supporting the development of new investment products such as tokenized gold. Fifth, supporting the setting up of a trade association for the gold industry with a view to establishing an exchange platform with the government and regulators, stepping up promotional efforts and attracting more Belt and Road clients while strengthening talent training. The International Board of the Shanghai Gold Exchange has set up its first offshore delivery vault in Hong Kong and launched new contract for delivery in Hong Kong. We will continue to promote collaboration between the gold market of the two cities. To encourage the participation of insurance funds in infrastructure financing, the government will amend the legislation next year to lower capital requirements for infrastructure investment and provide concessions for local projects. We will also promote the development of exclusive captive and reinsurance business in Hong Kong, encouraging the market to introduce more insurance products, such as those related to cross-boundary elderly care, cross-boundary driving, and low-altitude economy. In the next few years, Hong Kong is expected to become the world's largest cross-boundary wealth management center. We will further enhance the preferential tax regimes of funds, single-family offices, and carried interest to attract more funds to establish a presence in Hong Kong. The SFC will actively promote the inclusion of real estate investment trusts or REIT under mutual market access to increase the liquidity of REIT in the mainland Hong Kong. We will also facilitate the enhancement of the qualified foreign limited partnerships mechanism, in particular by collaborating with Shanghai and Shanghai to attract more foreign capital to the mainland's private capital market. The HKIC will nurture local private equity and hedge fund institutions with good potential through direct or co-investment. Currently, applicants of the new capital investment entrance scheme are required to invest at least $30 million in Hong Kong. Among such investments, the maximum amount of investment in real estate, residential and non-residential, to be counted towards the scheme is $10 million. The scheme will be enhanced, raising the maximum amount of investment to be counted from $10 million to $15 million for the purchase of non-residential properties with no transaction price threshold. As for the purchase of residential properties, the investment to be counted will continue to be capped at $10 million. But the transaction price threshold will be lowered from $50 million to $30 million. The HKMA will continue to take forward project ensemble, including encouraging commercial banks to introduce tokenized deposits and promoting live transactions of tokenized assets, such as the settlement of tokenized money market funds with tokenized deposits. It will also assist the government in regularizing the issuance of tokenized bonds and encourage banks to strengthen risk management through the supervisory sandbox. We're implementing a regime for stablecoin issuers and formulating legislative proposals regarding licensing regimes for digital asset dealing and custodian service providers. The SFC is studying the possibility of offering a wider range of digital asset products and services to professional investors with the prerequisite of sufficient investor protection in place. The SFC will also introduce automated reporting and data surveillance tools to build a line of defense against risks associated with digital assets in Hong Kong. In 2022, the HKEX launched Core Climate, an international carbon trading platform and the only voluntary carbon credit trading platform in the world offering settlement in Hong Kong dollars and RMB. In the future, we will deepen pilot collaboration with the GBA carbon market. And jointly building a regional carbon market ecosystem. Working with relevant mainland regulatory departments and authorities, the government will also study issues surrounding the country's participation in the international carbon market, including the formulation of voluntary carbon credit standards and methods, as well as the registration, trading, and settlement of carbon emission reduction. Trading is the second largest industry in Hong Kong after finance, contributing 15% of the gross domestic product. Last year, the value of trade was 6 times of the GDP, ranking 30 in the world. Our investment agreement negotiations with Qatar largely concluded in mid-2025. We will explore the signing of new investment agreements with Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, Egypt, and Peru. The government will also continue to seek accession to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership to expand our economic and trade network. I will establish the Economic and Trade Office in Kuala Lumpur this year to deepen economic and trade promotion in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and neighboring countries, and also expand the ETO coverage of Latin America and Central Asia. The government will promote the digitalization of trade to lower costs and improve efficiency. The measures are as follows. The HKMA will develop a roadmap for Project Cargo X by the end of the year. Through commercial data interchange and working with the AHK and the port community system, the trial project will leverage cargo data to reduce credit costs and processing time for banks and SMEs. The HKMA will explore cross-boundary financial collaboration with the Shanghai Municipal Bureau of Data and other parties under Project Ensemble, such as the application of tokenized electronic bills of lading, as well as advancing connections with CDI and CargoX to facilitate trade finance with the use of cargo data. Third, a logistics provider will be recruited as an additional pilot participant of the cross-boundary express cargo clearance facilitation arrangement to enhance the efficiency of e-commerce shipment. Fourth, the trade single window will be expanded progressively to cover more trade documents. In parallel, the government, together with the mainland's General Administration of Customs, will work to connect the single windows of Hong Kong and mainland and explore the feasibility of extending the existing single submission for dual declaration scheme to include other trade documents and transport notes. In addition, the government will discuss the possibility of connecting the single windows with ASEAN. The government will also introduce a legislative proposal next year for the digitalization of business-to-business trade documents. We will continue to follow the direction set out last year to foster the development of a commodity trading ecosystem in Hong Kong, and the measures are as follows. We will support the sector in setting up more approved warehouses, having obtained the approval of the London Metal Exchange, a wholly owned subsidiary of HKEX, on the establishment of 8 delivery warehouses in Hong Kong. We will provide half-rate tax concessions for commodity traders who set up businesses in Hong Kong. We will enhance the process of international commodity trading through financial innovation, including testing the use of technology like electronic bills of lading and tokenized deposits in a collaboration between the HKMA and Banco Central do Brasil to facilitate trade. Fourth, deepen connection with the Guangzhou Futures Exchange and other commodity markets in the mainland, contributing to the internationalization of our country's commodity market. The government will set up the Strategic Committee on Commodities, led by the Financial Secretary. It will bring together industry representatives with the aim of strengthening the top-down design and long-term strategy of our commodity policy.
Hong Kong is one of the busiest ports in the world. Being a leading catch-up port renowned for its fast customs clearance and high efficiency, underpinned by a maritime service ecosystem with more than 1,200 companies, Hong Kong is ranked 4th among the world's international shipping centers. The government will expand the cross-provincial freight transport network, build a commodity ecosystem, drive the port's green transformation and digitalization, and better harness our advantages in high-value-added maritime services. We're actively extending Hong Kong's cargo sources, promoting intermodal cargo transport from the mainland's inland provinces and cities to international markets through Hong Kong via rail, sea, land, and river. At present, cargo originating from Chongqing and Chengdu can be sent by sea rail intermodal service to Yantian Port in Shenzhen or Beibu Gulf in Guangxi, then transshipped to the Kuaiting container terminals by feeders or daily liner service. This fully leverages the complementary strengths of the ports concerned, achieving mutual benefits. The government will establish partner-port relationships with mainland regions of strategic collaboration significance, as well as Belt and Road regions, and prepare for the development of a green shipping corridor. We'll focus on the development of bunkering of fuels such as green methanol, green ammonia, and hydrogen. Later this year, we will invite the industry to submit expressions of interest in the development of green maritime fuel storage facilities. We will also require all vessels providing methanol bunkering services in Hong Kong waters to install mass flow meters to improve bunkering efficiency within next year, and initiate a feasibility study on green ammonia and hydrogen bunkering. The government will facilitate the trading of more green maritime fuels in Hong Kong and assist in the export of mainland-produced green maritime fuel. Develop a digitalized port system. The port community system, to be launched in January next year, will provide cargo tracking function and connect sea, land, and air transport networks, bolstering trade and capital flows digitally. Better harness the strengths of high-value-added maritime services. Vessels owned managed or operated by Hong Kong ship owners account for nearly 10% of the deadweight tonnage of the world's merchant fleet. To strengthen the Hong Kong's leading position in high-value added maritime services, the government will amend the Merchant Shipping Registration Ordinance next year to render the registration processes more flexible and digitalized. We will also step up promotion of tax concessions and enhance the marine insurance business. The government and the insurance authority IA are engaging the industry in establishing a dedicated marine risk pool to enhance Hong Kong's underwriting capacity for both local and mainland markets. The Hong Kong Maritime and Port Development Board, set up in July this year, assists the government in formulating more outgoing and comprehensive overseas and mainland promotional strategies, as well as policies for the overall development of the maritime industry with key areas identified for research. To consolidate Hong Kong's position as an international logistics hub, we will release the findings of the planning study on the development of modern logistics clusters in Hung Shui Kiu Hachin NDE this year. We will invite expressions of interest from the industry next year and draw up tender conditions. International Aviation Hub. Connecting with more than 200 destinations worldwide, Hong Kong saw an increase of over 60% in the number of passenger and cargo flights over the past 2 years. We'll continue to leverage the opportunities brought by the three-runway system and the Hong Kong IA and increase the number of long-haul and transit routes. We will also encourage local and non-local airlines to operate more flights and work to forge more new air services agreements and expand traffic rights with South America, Central Asia, Africa, and the Middle East as our priority target regions. Starting in October, we will expand exemptions from the air passenger departure tax to include passengers traveling to Hong Kong for transit by sea or land. The AHK will also expand the city terminal network in the mainland and improve land transport connections under Fly via Zhuhai, Hong Kong, extending the service to more mainland cities. The construction of Asia World Expo Phase 2 has started and it's expected to complete soon. The AAHK will invite expressions of interest in the development of a yacht bay and its ancillary facilities early next year. The facilities will be completed in phases starting in 2028. The AAHK is also working on the creation of an ecosystem for the arts industry, the opening of a jet fresh market for fresh gourmet products, and more. The Hong Kong IA has been ranked the world's busiest cargo airport for the 14th time since 2010. The AAHK will continue to leverage the advantages of the three-runway system to increase cargo throughput. In parallel, it is moving ahead with the construction of a logistics park in Dongguan to boost the use of Hong Kong air cargo services for transporting goods to and from the mainland. Hong Kong maintains a robust legal system highly aligned with international standards and is also the only place in the world implementing a bilingual common law system in both Chinese and English. We step up the promotion of legal services in Hong Kong and deepen our mediation culture, reinforcing our positions as an international legal hub and the capital of mediation. The International Organization for Mediation, that is IOMED, fulfills the mission of using mediation as one of the peaceful means to maintain international peace and security as stipulated in the Charter of the United Nations. Headquartered in Hong Kong, it reflects the importance that the central government attaches to Hong Kong and the confidence of the global community in cities' development. It will also strengthen Hong Kong's positioning as a center for international legal and dispute resolution services. The government fully supports the work of the IOMED and will organize international conferences, professional training, internships, and other programs to help Hong Kong young people and legal professionals work with the IOMED, nurturing more international mediation professionals for Hong Kong. The DOJ will construct the Hong Kong International Legal Service Building adjacent to the IOMED headquarters. The building will house facilities such as the headquarters of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy, as well as international legal and dispute resolution services institutions. The Deputy Secretary for Justice is tasked to promote Hong Kong's legal services and will work with other professional service sectors, such as accounting and finance, to support mainland enterprises wishing to expand overseas. We will continue to take forward the pilot scheme on sports dispute resolution, and a pilot scheme on community mediation. It will also strengthen the accreditation and disciplinary systems for the mediation profession and step up promotion of Hong Kong's arbitration services while studying the need to amend the arbitration ordinance. Promote the integrated development of education, technology, and talents. The integrated development of education, technology, and talents is a foundational and strategic pillar for progress in a new era. It enables Hong Kong to build rich talent resources, knowledge reserve, and capacities for scientific and technological innovation, thereby enhancing our competitiveness. We will accelerate construction of the Northern Metropolis University Town, promote the study in Hong Kong brand, develop universities of applied sciences, and propel our city towards becoming an international hub for post-secondary education and high-caliber talents. We're committed to enhancing the quality of education in Hong Kong. And at present, we're providing 15,000 quotas for local undergraduate students. We will not reduce this quota in order to ensure the present situation remains unchanged. On the other hand, the number of non-funded places for non-local students to study in Hong Kong on a self-financing basis will be permitted to increase. Starting from the 2026 to 27 academic year, the enrollment ceiling for self-financing non-local students of each funded post-secondary institution will be raised from the level currently equivalent to 40% of local student places to 50%, and the over-enrollment ceiling of self-financing places of funded research postgraduate programs will increase from 100% to 120%. The government launched the Hostels and City Scheme in July to facilitate the market in converting existing commercial buildings, including hotels, into student hostels by obviating the need for rezoning and allowing excessive plot ratio be retained. Effective today, apart from cases involving the conversion of commercial buildings, cases involving redevelopment of original commercial buildings into new student hostels can also enjoy the facilitation measures under the scheme, including retaining excessive plot ratio. The government will also earmark new sites zoned as commercial or otherwise this year for building new hostels, and we will also invite the market to submit expressions of interest. The Education Bureau will establish the task force on study in Hong Kong, bringing together the University Grants Committee (UGC), the RTIB, the Hong Kong Talent Engaged Post-Secondary Institutions, ETOs, the mainland offices, and so on, to step up the promotion of higher education in Hong Kong. Relevant measures include 1. Rolling out the Hong Kong Your World-Class Campus large-scale publicity campaign to promote Hong Kong's quality resources in areas such as academic studies, scientific research, and international cooperation. 2. Providing funding support of $40 million by the UGC for the 8 funded universities to enhance publicity as well as teacher and student recruitment overseas and in the mainland. The EDB will also take the lead in encouraging post-secondary institutions to organize more summer study tours to attract non-local senior secondary school students. 3. Encouraging post-secondary institutions to roll out more high-value added study tour in Hong Kong activities to promote the study tour in Hong Kong brand. Advance the development of UAS. The government has granted the UAS designation to 2 universities, putting into practice the principle that every trade has its masters. We will encourage UAS to deepen collaboration with leading enterprises in the mainland and overseas, fostering industry education collaboration and joint operation. The Alliance of UAS in Hong Kong will explore the feasibility of cooperating with leading polytechnic institutions in Guangdong Province to jointly establish a GBA exchange platform. Mutual recognition of vocational and professional qualifications will continue exploring with the mainland authorities the implementation of the mutual recognition of sub-degree level qualifications between Hong Kong and the mainland. This aims to facilitate the cross-boundary job seeking and the pursuit of further studies by graduates of vocational and professional programs in both places. The EDB will, on a trial basis, allow schools under the direct subsidy scheme to apply for increasing the the number and size of classes, expanding their intake of non-local students with student visas to study on a self-financing mode. Promote the international recognition of DSE. We will promote the international recognition of the DSE to various sectors through a range of education exhibitions and activities overseas and on the mainland, enabling DSE candidates to have more options for further education. The EDB will strengthen efforts to crack down on the unauthorized provision of DSE programs or the operation of shell schools. We have set up a reporting mechanism, conducting unannounced inspections, and further clarify the registration arrangements for private candidates taking the DSE in the coming year. In addition, we will formulate the code of practice for private schools and publish the private school list within this year with a view to improving the standards of school operation. International schools. The EDB has allocated 2 vacant school premises for international school development. The government has also reserved sites in the Northern Metropolis for the development of international schools. We encourage international schools to increase their admission quotas. We will also remove barriers and ease restrictions, allowing quality international schools to build new facilities and enhance existing ones, including student boarding facilities at their school sites on a self-financing basis. The EDB has set aside $2 billion in the Quality Education Fund, or QEF for short, to support digital education in primary and secondary schools, and will also release a blueprint for digital education in primary and secondary schools in 2026. This will encompass strategies such as optimizing the interface between primary and secondary curricula of information technology and INT education, setting out an AI literacy learning framework, incorporating AI education into the core curriculum, enhancing AI training for teachers, and introducing corporate resources. The QEF will introduce a new stage of the dedicated funding program for publicly funded schools, under which the cumulative funding ceiling for publicly funded schools and eligible kindergartens will be raised to enhance the quality of education. Schools will also encourage to strengthen promotion in areas such as values education, financial education, and entrepreneurial spirit through various funding programs.
International Innovation and Technology Center. Hong Kong ranked 3rd globally in technology in the World Digital Competitiveness Ranking. The Shenzhen-Hong Kong-Guangzhou cluster ranks 1st in the 2025 Global Innovation Index ranking of the world's top 100 innovation clusters. With 3 major INT parks and 5 key R&D institutions as the framework, we will propel INT development, pool global talent, and make full use of Hong Kong's R&D platform. The ITIB is taking forward the setup of 2 pilot lines by the Hong Kong Microelectronics Research and Development Institute, speeding up the development of new industrialization. The government will provide industry-ready use cases and adopt the scenario-based investment approach. It will also facilitate leading or influential INT companies to develop businesses in Hong Kong. The measures include expediting the development of the 3rd InnoHK research cluster with the focus on sustainable development, energy, advanced manufacturing, and materials. The R&D centers under the cluster will be established in the first half of 2026. Second, relaxing the application threshold for the new industrialization acceleration scheme by lowering the minimum total project cost from $300 million to $150 million, and providing funding on a matching basis for the employment of relevant technical personnel. We will also consider providing necessary support measures for individual enterprises. Third, launching the INT Industry-Oriented Fund in 2026 to 27, the government will endeavor to channel market capital to invest in emerging and future industries of strategic importance, supporting people-oriented scientific research. During my research to Hangzhou 6 Little Dragons in Zhejiang, I was aware of a new technology that enables a breakthrough benefiting people with amputations. Prostheses incorporating new R&D technologies are embedded with sensors that can detect neural signals transmitted from muscles to control prosthetic muscles without having to implant any device or wiring. With some training, wearers of these prostheses are able to perform daily activities such as writing or playing musical instruments. The government will support people-oriented scientific research through the Innovation and Technology Fund to introduce prostheses built with new R&D technologies. A 2-year scheme will be introduced to grant full subsidies to amputees in Hong Kong for the configuration and the use of the high-tech prostheses free of charge, enabling them to benefit from new technologies. promoting the development of a low-altitude economy ecosystem. The government will forge ahead with building a competitive low-altitude economy ecosystem to propel Hong Kong as an hub for innovative low-altitude applications. We will formulate, or rather improve, civil aviation legislation and regulatory framework, including formulating dedicated legislation for unconventional aircraft weighing over 150 kilograms to lay the foundation for developing the standardization of the low-altitude economy. Second, we will enhance core infrastructure facilities by designating spectrum by the end of the year, as well as facilitating early planning and deployment of facilities such as vertiport, air route networks, satellite positioning, three-dimensional spatial data systems, and a smart low-altitude traffic management system. We will encourage higher education institutions and enterprises to make use of existing funding schemes, review relevant talent development, and support the industry and universities in organizing more training. Last year, Invest Hong Kong hosted the inaugural Hong Kong Low-Altitude Economy Forum, attracting over 250 local and overseas industry stakeholders. We will continue to host flagship events to showcase the business opportunities of the low-altitude economy. The first batch of regulatory sandbox pilot projects was announced in March. The more mature applications will be regularized, and we will roll out the advanced low-altitude economy regulatory sandbox X Extra. Pilot projects will cover application scenarios that are technically more complex, such as cross-boundary routes and passenger-carrying low-altitude aircraft. The insurance industry has set up a task force to develop low-altitude economy insurance products for various application scenarios, drawing reference from the data of the government's regulatory sandbox. The IA will forge closer ties with the industry to meet demands. Promoting the development of aerospace science and technology and support space economy. Our country has designated commercial aerospace as a strategic emerging industry. Hong Kong has an advantage in internationalization and possesses strong scientific research capabilities, with various universities participating in national aerospace projects. We will promote the development of the aerospace science and technology sector and support the space economy. The government has set up the Hong Kong Space Robotics and Energy Center under the InnoHK Research Cluster to support our country's Chang'e 8 mission. The Innovation and Technology Support Program Special Call on Aerospace Technology has allocated over $100 million to support 6 university R&D projects. In parallel, the Commercial and Economic Development Bureau is exploring how to streamline the vetting of license applications for low Earth orbit satellites, and it will promote 6G application. The HKIC will also pursue investment in areas related to commercial aerospace and the space economy. Regional Intellectual Property Trading Center, promoting intellectual property trading. Hong Kong ranks 6th globally on the criterion for intellectual property rights, an improvement of 6 places since the current term government took place. We will push forward measures in IP financing, valuation and protection, and strengthen external promotion to boost IP trading. Bolstering intellectual property financing, the CADB and the Intellectual Property Department will collaborate with the HKMA to launch an IP financing sandbox to assist pilot sectors, particularly the technology sector, in leveraging IPs for financing with the support of the banking, insurance, valuation, legal, and other professionals. Patent valuation services and subsidies. Upon the official operation of the Hong Kong Technology and Innovation Support Center by the end of this year, the government will support the center in providing local small and medium I&T enterprises with patent evaluation based on national standards, and launching a 2-year pilot program to subsidize patent valuation as a reference for credit reference financing. Protecting intellectual property rights. Following the completion of the public consultation on enhancement of the copyright ordinance regarding the protection for AI technology development in September last year, the government will formulate a code of practice in respect of relevant legal principles and prepare a legislative proposal. We're also reviewing the local registered designs regime for consultation by the end of the year. The government and the HKTDC will promote IP financing in the Business of IP Asia Forum 2025. The IPD will also nominate local enterprises to compete for the China Patent Award jointly organized by the China National Intellectual Property Administration and the World Intellectual Property Organization. Nurturing talent. The government attaches great importance to youth talent development. Promoting youth development to better equip our young people, broaden their international horizons, and cultivate a holistic outlook, we will launch a young talent training program. There will also be new thematic internship programs in the mainland. We will strengthen the youth financial education program, launch new mediation workshops to enhance young people's understanding of the mediation industry. The Home and Youth Affairs Bureau will continue to implement the HYAB funding scheme for youth exchange in the mainland. In addition, the 8 youth uniformed groups of the security bureaus, disciplined and auxiliary services departments will also proactively organize international and mainland exchange activities. The youth post hostel, converted from the Kaita community isolation facilities, has also commenced operation this year. This project provides affordable accommodation for young people from the mainland and overseas. The facility also plans to organize 100 youth activities of different types, encompassing culture, arts, sports, and other elements in its 5-year operation period, promoting exchanges between young visitors and Hong Kong youth. The first phase of the renovation work of the new interactive space for young people at Youth Square in Taiwan and the physical platform for interaction for Youth Link members in Namcheon will be completed by the end of this year, providing venues for young people to expand their networks. Developing a talent pool. Since the talent admission policies launched by the current term government, over 230,000 people have come to Hong Kong for work and development. Among those schemes, the Top Talent Pass scheme has recorded an application rate of 55% for extension of stay. These individuals are mostly in INT and financial sectors in Hong Kong. These are high-caliber individuals. Of them, 95% receive a monthly income higher than the local median income of $20,000. Half of them earn a monthly income nearly double that amount. This reflects a strong demand for such talent. The Top Talent Pass scheme contributes about $34 billion a year to the local economy, or 1.2% of our GDP. Most of the individuals who have come here under the talent admission schemes are very young, with 70% of them under the age of 40, and that helps ease the challenges of an aging population. Hong Kong's ranking in relation to global talent is rising steadily, climbing 12 places in 2 years to the 4th place globally this year, ranking first in the Asia-Pacific region. This reflects that our talent policy is on the right track and effective, and is one of the important driving forces for economic development. The government will continue to implement talent policies to ensure our talent will continue to drive economic growth. The government will launch the Innovation and Technology Talent Exchange Scheme for industry and academic sectors, encouraging university professors to engage in corporate IND activities for a better grasp of industry needs. Senior management of technology enterprises and technical experts will also be invited to teach and help develop curriculum, strengthening the collaborative development of our industry, academic, and research sectors.
文化、體育、旅
Integrated development of culture, sports, and tourism. East meets West Center for International Cultural Exchange. The Culture, Sport, and Tourism Bureau published the Blueprint for Arts and Culture and Creative Industries Development last year, setting out clear directions for the long-term development of arts and culture policies. We will develop a premium arts trading hub and promote the diverse development of the West Kowloon Culture District. We will also refocus the performance venues, develop flagship arts and culture projects, and intensify promotion of intangible cultural heritage. and introduce commercial elements to enrich LCST facilities and events. Hong Kong is among the world's top 3 arts trading centers. We will turn Hong Kong into a global premium arts trading hub, attracting more international auction houses, galleries, and professionals to establish a presence here. Measures include, first, developing an arts ecosystem at the airport city to host art studios, galleries, and dealers under one roof, supported by large-scale art storage and related facilities. Second, enhancing our international arts trading platform by deepening collaboration with Art Basel, thereby consolidating the position of Hong Kong as the exclusive host city of the region. Third, engaging the industry to carry out studies on taxation, financing, and talent and related areas, policy measures applicable to Hong Kong. The West Kowloon Cultural District will take forward the following measures: discussing leasing strategies with the developer of artist square towers to attract more arts trading enterprises, including galleries, insurance companies, and family offices to lease office in the towers, scheduled for completion in 2026 to 27. Second, establishing an international collaboration network for arts conservation and providing professional training and internship opportunities. The West Kowloon Cultural District will take the following measures: organizing more high-profile international events, including the Second Hong Kong International Cultural Summit and Annual Conference 2026 of the Association of Asia-Pacific Performing Arts Centers. Second, tour exhibitions overseas and in the mainland to showcase exhibitions and collections of M+ and Hong Kong Palace Museum. M+ will also co-organize exhibitions with internationally renowned museums. More mainland tours of The Impossible Trial will also be organized to develop the musical into a long-running classic. Third, commissioning the West K Key at the end of the year to enhance the WKCD's accessibility. Fourth, establishing the West K Academy to provide professional training, local cultural and creative industries. This year, Hong Kong Fashion Fest will promote fashion design or digital fashion and sustainable fashion in collaboration with Paris Fashion Week and Milan Fashion Week. Over the past 3 years, films funded by the Cultural and Creative Industries Development Agency through the Film Development Fund accounted for nearly 30% of Hong Kong films' box office receipts. The CCIDA will enhance publicity exchanges and business matching with the mainland. The CCIDA proactively assists Hong Kong cultural and creative designers in producing more cultural and creative products with Chinese and Hong Kong cultural features. And in the incubation of local cultural IP, it will continue to support the enhancement of Asia IP exchange portal. We're focusing the performance venues and promoting performing arts mega events. With the opening of the Kai Tak Sports Park, the government has announced the enhancement of the positioning of various venues. The Hong Kong Coliseum will be refocused to prioritize concerts. The East Kowloon Cultural Center will promote long-running performances and arts technology. And the Sha Tin Town Hall Auditorium will prominently feature Cantonese opera. In the past 2 years, the government has developed signature arts and cultural flagship projects to attract locals as well as tourists, including the Hong Kong Pop Culture Festival, the Asia Plus Festival, the Chinese Culture Festival, the Hong Kong Performing Arts Expo, and the Hong Kong ICH Month. The government will continue to strengthen the promotion of district-based ICH, promoting ICH around town. We will introduce market-based business models into designated LCST facilities to provide more diverse value-added activities. These include leasing out museums on their closing days for commercial or private use, opening up more venues for hire, introducing paid guided tours for visitor groups, and developing more cultural and creative products to enhance visitor experience and operational efficacy. We will also explore the feasibility of engaging the market to enhance the operations of the Leiju Moon Park Holiday Camp and selected beaches, promoting the development of recreational, leisure, and aquatic hotspots. Tourism is everywhere. As of February this year, The overall visitor arrivals reached 3.2 million, a significant increase of 12% over the same period last year. Developing the yacht economy. With 1,180 kilometers of shoreline and 263 islands, Hong Kong is well positioned to become a yacht club in Asia. We will enhance amenities for the yacht industry and promote prime yacht tourism. First, we will provide approximately 600 additional yacht berths at the ex-Lama Quarry, the Aberdeen Typhoon Shelter expansion, and the Hong Ham Station waterfront project. Second, we will promote the development of the yacht bay at the airport city, providing more than 500 extra berths, including berths that can accommodate super yacht over 80 meters in length. Third, we will relax the requirements for visiting yacht and develop a dynamic yacht monitoring system, allowing visiting yacht to anchor at government-designated waters and navigate in a safe and orderly manner, without having to reserve berths at privately operated yacht clubs or piers. Fourth, we will enhance the electronic business system to allow one-stop pre-submission of arrival information from visiting yacht for preliminary vetting by relevant departments. Fifth, authorizing relevant mainland organizations to conduct examinations for local yacht masters, offer short-term training courses to help visiting yacht masters of visiting yacht from the mainland and obtain qualifications for navigation in Hong Kong waters. These measures will be extended to visiting yacht from overseas in due course. Sixth, promoting the systemic development of the Guangdong Hong Kong Macau individual yacht scheme for yacht, and cooperate with the Guangdong provincial government on facilitation measures for the northbound travel of yachts from Hong Kong and southbound travel of yachts from the mainland. We will attract visitors to extend their stay and revisit again by interweaving an array of cultural festivals, tourism projects, and mega events, promoting the development of mega events plus tourism. Hong Kong Disneyland will upgrade its facilities upon its 20th anniversary this year. The government will also contribute to lead Ocean Park's collaboration with the Hong Kong Tourism Board in rolling out more themed events and products to sustain the craze for giant pandas. With next year being the year of the horse, the HKJC will organize celebrations and performances under the theme of horse to promote horse racing tourism. To support the hosting of mega events, the Fire Services Department will introduce a facilitation measure for the temporary place of public entertainment license by conducting compliance inspections of fire safety requirement via video conferencing for venues with lower safety risks. Hong Kong's cruise tourism continues to thrive, with an anticipated increase of about 20% this year in the number of ship calls to Hong Kong compared with last year. The CSTB will begin a tender exercise for the operator of the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal by the end of this year, after a review of the terms and conditions of the tenancy agreement to boost the appeal and competitiveness of the terminal. The government will launch the Four Peaks Tourism Project proposed by the Working Group on developing tourist hotspots and improve facilities in country parks. In addition, it will construct new facilities, including a treetop adventure, an open museum of historical relics, and novel campsites. We will also explore suitable means to connect rural attractions such as traditional villages and fields, ancestral halls and study halls, as well as folk activities, etc., enriching visitors' experience of rural eco-tours through strolling and cycling. We will develop a variety of new tourist attractions, such as promoting the red tourism route of Chinese cultural celebrities rescue, creating thematic floral gardens in the 18th district, and promoting various immersive tour projects, including Hong Kong's industrial brand tourism, Old Town Central, Kowloon City, Victoria Park Bazaar, and the opening of the former Yamate police station for public visit. We will also open up the frontier closed areas at Maipo and Starling Inlet for visitors. The HKTB will stage an enhanced version of the Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival to step up worldwide promotion of Hong Kong's bar and restaurant offerings, positioning the city as an international culinary hub. We will aestheticize Lan Kwai Fong and the surrounding streetscape in phases to foster community making. The HAD will also refine application guidelines to facilitate the operation of homestay lodgings and holiday camps in rural areas. In addition, the Development Bureau will facilitate the conversion of village houses into homestay lodgings or community eateries. We will offer tailor-made luxury tours for high-spending visitors and work with the industry to offer sophisticated itinerary planning, concierge services, and premium experience. To further promote Muslim tourism, we will strengthen our strategy of accreditation, education, and promotion, encouraging the industry to provide more Muslim-friendly facilities and food options. The HKTB will launch a funding scheme beginning this year through the end of next year by providing a half-rate certification fee subsidy capped at $5,000 for restaurants that have acquired halal certification. To enhance visitors' immigration experience, we will implement a collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode at the new Huanggang port and the Shuttlecock port under redevelopment. Relax the eligibility criteria for frequent visitors wishing to use the e-channel service, and establish Hong Kong's first contactless clearance pilot checkpoint at the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge Hong Kong port, which enables immigration clearance via facial recognition technology. We will implement a new Outstanding Service Award scheme covering various tourism service industries to commend merchants and industry practitioners for their outstanding products and services and promote their hospitable culture through mass media.
體育發展
Sports development. Co-hosted by Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau for the first time, the 15 national games as well as the national games for persons with disabilities and the National Special Olympic Games will be held in November and December 2025. We'll spare no effort in staging the competitions to be held in Hong Kong and work with Guangdong and Macau to make the 15th NG and NGDSO a success. We have collaborated with the industry to roll out various tourism products related to the games and have also arranged for local free television broadcasts to relay the competitions, allowing the public to cheer on the athletes. The Kaita Sports Park KTSP plays a pivotal role in promoting sports mega events and developing sports as an industry, with leverage strengths to drive sports plus mega events development. We review the positioning of the Hong Kong Stadium to complement the KTSP and leverage the Hong Kong Stadium's existing facilities to support sports development, such as serving as office space for NSAs, organizing matches and related training, and hosting large-scale sports events. To attract more world-class players to compete in Hong Kong, we have agreed on a multi-year partnership arrangement with Live Golf, one of the most important golf tours in the world. The review of the provision of direct financial support for elite athletes has been recently completed. The government will continue to provide financial support for athletes so that they can concentrate on their training within a more financially stable context. Training efficacy will also be enhanced by capitalizing on the R&D outcomes of sports medicine. The Sports Federation and Olympic Committee of Hong Kong, China, will prioritize collaboration with NSAs that have relatively established governance frameworks, expedite the implementation of the Code of Governance, and establish a governance paradigm. The government will strive to support Asian or international sports associations to establish presence in Hong Kong through NSAs, while encouraging NSAs to participate in the work of these associations to strengthen the city's international voice and influence. The highlight of the policy address: facilitating stable living in a caring and inclusive society. Improving people's livelihood is my key policy priority. Since taking office, the current term government has been striving to build a vibrant economy and promote development. These efforts aim to enhance our economy's long-term competitiveness, generate strong growth momentum, and lay a solid foundation for improving the well-being of our people, ultimately increasing their sense of happiness and well-being. This chapter on livelihood is the longest in this policy address, covering 9 areas that are closely linked to the everyday lives of Hong Kong residents. 1. Increasing housing supply and enriching the housing ladder. Safeguarding the basic housing needs of people of Hong Kong is a top priority of our governance. Since assuming office, I have strengthened housing protection for the grassroots by speeding up the construction of PRH, launching the innovative LPH, that is light public housing, and cracking down on PRH tenancy abuse. With the supply of PRH continuously increasing, the government is now well positioned to further assist the grassroots in achieving home ownership. We will increase the supply of flats under the Home Ownership Scheme HOS and the Green Farm Subsidized Home Ownership Scheme GSH, optimize the sale and alienation restriction arrangements, help more PRH tenants realize home ownership while enabling the owners of subsidized sale flats SAFs enter the private housing market. With Housing Ladder enriched, we can support residents across all walks of life to live and work happily. In the 5 years starting from the 2026 to 2027 onwards, the overall public housing production, including LPH, will reach 189,000 units, about 80% higher than when I took office. 3 years ago, PRH applicants had to wait for 6.1 years on average before they were offered PRH. With our efforts over the past 3 years or so, the composite waiting time for subsidized rental housing has been shortened by a whole year to 5.1 years. We are moving closer to the target of reducing it to 4.5 years in 2026 to 2027. Subdivided, they can improve their living conditions, and they can also save about $36,000 or $50,000 in rent on average per year. 3 years ago, I announced the launch of 30,000 LPH units. About 10,000 of them will be completed for intake by the end of this year. The remaining 20,000 units will be completed in the coming year and a half. The basic housing unit regulatory regime designed to eradicate substandard SDUs is being scrutinized by the LegCo. Subject to the passage of the bill, the regime will be implemented in March next year. Redeveloping public rental housing estates. The Hong Kong Housing Authority (HA) will announce redevelopment plans for Mata White Estate and San Juan Estate this year. A study will also be conducted on the redevelopment of model housing estate. With the increase in public housing supply, we will take measured steps to help people of Hong Kong to achieve home ownership. They include the following 6 measures. First, given the supply of HOS flats in the next 5 years is expected to be about 50% more than the 5-year supply when the current term government took office, opportunities for both Green Farm (GF) and White Farm (WF) applicants to purchase HOS flats will increase significantly. On the basis that the supply of HOS flats is substantially increasing, we will increase the ratio of quotas between GF and WF from 40 to 60 to 50 to 50 to help more PRH tenants to become owners, while at the same time transferring the original PRH units to waiting list applicants, benefiting both parties at the same time. Second, to increase opportunities for WF applicants to purchase SSF with unpaid premium in the secondary market, the HA will increase the quota of the White Farm Secondary Market Scheme (WSM for short) by 1,000 to 7,000, starting from the next WSM exercise. Half of the 1,000 additional quota will be allocated to young family and one-person applicants below 40. Third, to prevent forfeiture of the WSM quota because of personal preferences, The number of approval letters issued by the HKHA will be suitably higher than the quota set under the WSM exercise. This will ensure that the quota for flat purchases can be fully utilized in order to strive to meet the expectations of the purchasers. Fourth, we will increase the ratio of larger units in HOS and GSH projects in response to market needs. Fifth, we will relax the alienation restriction period of new flats for sale from 15 years to 10 years to encourage upward mobility. This measure will be applicable starting from the next HOS and GSH sale exercises. Six, we will launch the Flat for Flat scheme for elderly owners of Hong Kong HSSFs, allowing those who have reached the age of 60 and owned a flat for 10 years or more to purchase a smaller flat or a flat in a more remote area after selling the original one in the secondary market with premium unpaid. In doing so, they can get additional cash to cover the living expenses, while urban or larger flats can be released for families to apply for. The Hong Kong Housing Authority and the Hong Kong Housing Society will introduce a pilot scheme allowing those who have owned an SSF for 10 years or more to let their flats with unpaid premium to eligible WF applicants after paying relevant fees, subject to a quota of 3,000. Private housing supply. According to the long-term housing strategy, the supply target for private housing in the coming decade is projected to be 126,000 units. The government will have sufficient land to meet the demand in the next 10 years. We will also roll out such land to the market in an orderly and pragmatic manner. Besides government land sale, other sources of private housing land supply include railway property development and urban renewal authority URA projects, as well as private development projects. Land development. The government must maintain an ample supply of land to meet the demand for major development projects, long-term economic development, and the community's housing needs. Land reserve is similar to bank savings in the sense that both are safe for use when needed. We'll sustain efforts to produce and retain control over the supply of land. In parallel, we will improve the efficiency of land production and lower construction costs by streamlining approval processes, optimizing administrative procedures, strengthening internal collaboration, applying technology, reviewing relevant standards, and more so as to safeguard public interests and meet development needs. Building land reserve. In the next decade, the government will get ready around 2,600 hectares of spade-ready sites. Apart from meeting the development needs, this will also provide the necessary room for the government to build up a healthy land reserve. We will continue to streamline statutory procedures and administrative workflows. Relevant measures include, first, simplifying works approval procedures, setting clear performance pledges, and enhancing coordination among relevant departments on vetting processes to expediting approval. Second, the Housing Department will set up a project facilitation office to coordinate departments in expediting the completion of public housing projects. The Housing Bureau has implemented a new management approach under which the target time for project completion is set to prompt the accelerated completion of various project stages. Third, leveraging technologies. Next year, the Development Bureau will launch a project cost management platform, establishing a market price database and applying AI technology to analyze, for example, past government project cost data to ensure greater cost effectiveness in future project designs. The HD has also adopted the self-developed Building Information Modeling BIM-enabled systematic approach to foundation design, which automatically generates designs to further reduce costs. Fourth, the Building Technology Research Institute will continuously review the construction standards and requirements of government projects. In addition, regarding the approval of building materials for public housing, the HB will look into the accreditation of standards of more regions. Fifth, The government will relax the gross floor area GFA exemption arrangement for car parks in private developments by removing the mandatory requirement of constructing underground car parks as a condition of exemption and granting full GFA exemption if developers construct no more than 2 stories of above-ground car parks. 6. The Development Bureau will conduct central procurement on a trial basis in the first half of next year, piloting in the procurement of commonly used materials, including steel reinforcement and modular integrated construction MIC modules, in order to save costs. The HB will also pilot the batch procurement of integrated modules of MIC method next year. In addition, the HB has established a database of standard building materials covering commonly used materials such as aluminum windows and partition walls to expedite the approval process, releasing industrial land in urban areas. Since 2000, the Planning Department has conducted 5 rounds of area assessments of industrial land in the territory. Some of the industrial land have been rezoned for other uses such as residential and business uses. The government will commence a new round of study this year and put forward recommendations next year, including the way forward for the revitalization scheme for industrial buildings. Embracing a new mindset, we will explore the use of newly developed land to take forward urban renewal. Relevant measures include, first, relaxing the current arrangement for the transfer of plot ratio within the same district to allow the cross-district transfer of unutilized plot ratio from redevelopment projects to other districts or even NDAs to enhance market incentive for redevelopment. Second, reserving 3 sites in Kutong North and Fanling North NDAs in the North Metropolis for the URA to construct new buildings, which will be used as replacement flats under the flat for flat scheme in the future. Third, suitably increasing the plot ratio of private redevelopment projects on a pilot basis for the 7 designated areas with more pressing redevelopment need, allowing the increased plot ratio to be transferred for utilization in North Metropolis or other districts, or to be used for offsetting the premium payable for bidding land, lease modification in other projects, or in situ land exchange. Enhancing construction safety. The government will amend the buildings ordinance next year to enhance the deterrent effect against non-compliance with statutory notices or orders and serious unauthorized building works and strengthen regulation of contractors. The Transport and Logistics Bureau will publish the Transport Strategy Blueprint by the end of this year to outline directions and specific measures for transport development. We'll soon invite tenders for the Smart and Green Mass Transit System project in Kai Tak, and will invite tenders for the projects in East Kowloon and the Hongshui Hachin NDA next year. To speed up the introduction of new mass transit systems from around the world, the government will devise a regulatory framework applicable to different system technologies and operators. We will introduce a bill next year. Autonomous vehicles. The government established a regulatory framework for autonomous vehicles AV last year. 3 years will be approved this year for AV trials, aiming at AV cross-district travel and connections to other modes of transport to accelerate the large-scale development of driverless autonomous driving in Hong Kong, expediting its transition to commercial operations and facilitating the industry's expansion to overseas, in particular right-hand drive markets, using Hong Kong as a platform. Ride-hailing services. The issue of regulating ride-hailing services in Hong Kong has persisted for over 11 years. The current term government is determined to resolve this issue, striving to pass the legislation on regulating the services before the prorogation of the current term pledge goal in order to safeguard the public's traffic safety. Healthcare. To address the challenges brought by an aging society in Hong Kong, increasing prevalence of chronic diseases and pressure on healthcare resources, the government will deepen healthcare system reforms, enhancing its sustainability, strengthening primary healthcare, and increasing healthcare manpower, while promoting health and medical innovation and encouraging collaboration within the GBA. DHA will enhance the safety, quality, and efficiency of public healthcare services, uphold the safety-first principle in delivering services, and advance the reform of governance and accountability. Dedicated teams will be set up and the electronic systems upgraded to process applications for medical fee waivers to help patients in need. The charges and positioning of non-subsidized services will be reviewed to offer more service options to members of the public who can afford more. Existing public healthcare services will also be enhanced. Relevant measures include establishing in-phases stroke centers and integrated cardiovascular diseases centers in accordance with national accreditation standards to improve treatment effectiveness, shortening waiting time by 10%, translating to about 10 weeks for stable new case bookings in the specialty of surgery, enhancing ophthalmic services by strengthening training for professional personnel, introducing innovative medications, and setting up a new high-capacity ambulatory cataract surgery center, extending the hospital accreditation program to cover a major acute hospital in each public hospital cluster, while contributing to the internationalization of national hospital accreditation standards and comprehensively upgrading the degenerative knee joint management program to promote early prevention and avoid progression. On healthcare manpower development, last year, the policy address announced a plan to establish a third medical school. Over the past year, the task group on new medical school has completed an overall assessment on the proposals prepared by expert advisors. It is conducting a detailed study of the funding arrangements and financial sustainability of the proposals. The task group will make its final recommendation to the government by the end of this year. We will support the hosting of national or international medical and healthcare conferences in Hong Kong. DHA will also launch a talent chain project to build a collaborative platform integrating clinical services, teaching, and research. Primary health care. The government will enhance community healthcare and disease prevention by first introducing a bill within next year for the empowerment of the Primary Health Care Commission, PHC Commission for short, devising citywide standards for primary healthcare services and developing multidisciplinary service networks. Second, enhancing the HA's family medicine outpatient preventive screening and care services, increasing their service capacity and regularizing their current extended service hours progressively. Third, launching the chronic disease co-care platform on a pilot basis to conduct hepatitis B screening and promote the community drug formulary and community pharmacy program in order to enhance the management of chronic diseases. Fourth, preparing to integrate the services of elderly health centers into the district health network in phases and expanding the services of 3 district healthcare expresses to expedite the establishment of district health centers DHC across all 18 districts in Hong Kong. Fifth, bolstering public and subsidized dental services by enhancing oral health education, oral hygiene instructions, and risk assessments in the community through DHCs and non-governmental organizations, NGOs. Cancers. The government will consolidate Hong Kong's leading position in cancer research and services. We will, first, collaborate with the National Cancer Center. Second, support the hosting of the World Cancer Congress 2026 in Hong Kong. Third, enhance cervical cancer screening services and expand the pilot scheme on human papillomavirus testing of self-controlled samples from the maternal and child health centers, MCHCs, under the Department of Health to the District Health Center. Fourth, enhance cancer screening technology through commissioning local universities to explore the use of AI-aided lung cancer screening. Fifth, enhance treatment efficacy and reduce side effects by expanding genetic and related testing services. Sixth, leverage cancer data and biological resources to advance oncology research, accelerate the development and translation of anti-cancer drugs and related innovative therapies, speed up the evaluation and approval of innovative anti-cancer drugs under the 1+ mechanism, and and introduce these drugs into the HA drug formulary. Seventh, increase the HA's capacity of services and acquire additional medical equipment. Chinese medicine development. The Chinese Medicine Hospital of Hong Kong (CMHK) and the permanent premises of the Government Chinese Medicines Testing Institute will start operation in phases from December this year. The government will boost the promotion of Chinese medicine. Measures include, first, publishing the Chinese Medicine Development Blueprint by the end of this year. The blueprint will cover establishing a governance framework and service system, leveraging strength and advancing integrated Chinese to Western medicine services, promoting scientific research and innovation, cultural heritage, and more. Second, rolling out a range of CM services for special diseases by the CMHK in its first year, including degenerative diseases, stroke rehabilitation, and other common diseases among the elderly. Third, promoting the sharing of electronic health records in the CM sector through e-health and expanding the shareable scope of EHRs on e-health between CM and Western medicine practitioners. Fourth, developing ICWM services by expanding the HA's knee osteoarthritis program to all hospital clusters and commencing the palliative care pilot program. Professional regulation of healthcare services. The government will strengthen the functions of the DH in regulating healthcare facilities and healthcare professionals. It will consult the legislature in the first half of next year on the implementation of the Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance to prohibit unauthorized premises from using certain titles or descriptions. It will also step up law enforcement against unlicensed persons. Mental health. Through a strategy of identification, intervention and treatment, the government places great importance on the public's mental health and has introduced a three-tier school-based emergency mechanism. We also place equal emphasis on prevention, which involves building families, friendships, and interpersonal networks, focusing on the development of interests and personality and creating supportive environments in schools and workplaces. All these initiatives require joint efforts, bringing together the government, the community, and families, as well as professional support and treatment when needed. The government will enhance 9 measures in the following aspects. First, regularizing the three-tier emergency mechanism in secondary schools and extending it on a trial basis to primary 4 to 6 students to strengthen support for those in need. Second, utilizing the dedicated fund for subvented welfare service organizations, providing training for enhancing school social workers' capabilities in handling students' mental health issues. Third, stepping up the promotion of mental health in the community through the 4Rs Mental Health Charter in primary and secondary schools and the Mental Health Workplace Charter, encouraging more school staff to receive training related to mental health first aid. A special recognition category will be introduced to commend schools and organizations that arrange a specific number of staff members to receive mental health training, such as mental health first aid. Fourth, launching the pilot program on training for a mental health promotion ambassador to mobilize and train mental health promotion ambassadors in order to promote healthy lifestyles, foster resilience, and establish care support networks. Fifth, social media have profound impacts on the mental health of children and adolescents. The DH will update relevant guidelines to mitigate the impact of social media on the health of children and adolescents. Sixth, basic mental health program has already been made a compulsory subject for first-year students in some tertiary institutions with related support provided for students in need. The government will encourage more institutions to promote mental health on campus. Seventh, currently, 3 DHCs provide free mental health assessments and arrange follow-up services under the Healthy Mind pilot project, producing satisfactory results. The government will extend the project in 2026 to cover 6 more DHCs, with follow-up services to be provided by practitioners with an academic background and training in fields such as psychology or counseling. Eighth, leveraging technologies to enhance mental health services. Initiatives include strengthening telehealth services for psychiatric day hospitals and outreach services to provide suitable patients with more convenient service options, and enhancing the text counseling platform for online emotional support and the cyber youth support teams of the Social Welfare Department (SWD) by strengthening AI application for more precise identification of high-risk targets in need of support. Ninth, completing the formulation of the step care model on mental health by the end of this year, setting out the roles of mental health professionals and stakeholders, as well as their division of work in mental health services, enhancing training to raise professionals' awareness of making referrals and establishing the referral mechanism. Green and low carbon living environment. Developing a demonstration base for green tech. We will promote the commercialization of green INT outcomes. Relevant measures include supporting the market development of technologies for battery swapping EVs and automated battery swapping stations, encouraging the construction of district cooling systems by non-government entities, and driving the market to accelerate carbon reduction in existing buildings. We have launched a $300 million fast charger incentive scheme with an additional 3,000 fast chargers to be provided by the end of 2028. The government has plans to roll out 6 sites for the provision of fast charging stations. Bus operators will open up their charging facilities for use by other vehicles. Reducing waste and recycling it to achieve zero landfill. The disposal rate of municipal solid waste has been declining for the past few years. We will continue to optimize service hours and locations of green and community facilities, support recycling initiatives in residential buildings, and promote waste separation in PRH estates. The government continues to increase the number of food waste smart recycling bins and collection facilities in residential areas this year, working towards a goal of 1 bin per block in PRH estates. iPark 1 will progressively begin operation by the end of this year. To expand our waste-to-energy capacity, the government will seek funding approval from the Legislative Council next year for the construction of iPark 2, Hong Kong's first modern recycled paper pulping facility located at Eco Park. Will start trial operation by the end of this year. Jointly developing the GBA into a beautiful Bay Area. Hong Kong will take part in developing the GBA into an international, first-class, beautiful Bay Area, with Victoria Harbour as a core for development together with the Mears Bay and Port Shelter. We'll take forward measures on the prevention and control of nearshore pollution, coordinated protection of ecosystems, and shoreline remediation to support the initiative of developing beautiful bays advocated in our country's 14th Five-Year Plan.
支援中小企
Supporting the local economy and supporting small and medium enterprises. Hong Kong is home to some 360,000 SMEs. They are the pillars of our economic development. To better cope with the city's economic restructuring, the government will launch 11 measures to enhance support for SMEs. First, enhancing the application period for the 80% guarantee product under the SME financing guarantee scheme for 2 years, and further extending the principal moratorium arrangement for another year. The government will encourage banks to continue to adopt an accommodating and more flexible approach when processing loans by enterprises with sound repayment ability. Second, fees and charges concessions. This is to ease the pressure on business operations. The government will reduce water and sewer charges for non-domestic accounts by 50%. Subject to a monthly ceiling of $10,000 and $5,000 respectively per account. About 260,000 non-domestic accounts are expected to benefit from the measure. We will also reduce the trade affluent surcharge by 50%. This is expected to benefit about 35,000 businesses, mainly in the catering industry. In addition, Fees for the first issue or renewal of licenses and permits, including those for hawkers, food businesses, agriculture and fisheries industries, and liquor licenses, will be waived. This is expected to benefit over 60,000 licensees. The above measures will be implemented for a year. Considering that the original estimate for the government's average annual capital works expenditure in the coming 5 years was about $120 billion, we will earmark an additional $30 billion in the next 2 to 3 years to increase expenditure on works projects, driving sustained economic development. Fourth, streamlining the restaurant licensing regime. In this regard, new operators with provisional licenses are currently allowed to begin business while seeking to complete their formal license application. This arrangement of license first, inspection later has further expedited approval procedures, whereas simplified administrative procedures have enabled new operators of restaurants that have changed hands to start business even sooner. To further expedite the approval process of applications for outside seating accommodation or OSA of restaurants, the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department will adopt a new way by proactively coordinating relevant departments to undergo joint vetting to resolve the matter together and, when necessary, escalate the process regarding complicated applications to the relevant permanent secretary or even the deputy chief secretary for administration for steel. At the same time, the procedures will be streamlined, including adopting standardized government rent for OSA and allowing some applications to proceed without the requirement for increasing kitchen area and bathroom facilities. As for applications involving walkways with a remaining width of 3 meters or more after the provision of OSA, they will generally be considered as meeting the basic traffic requirements and do not have to be reviewed case by case. Fifth, injecting $1.43 billion into the BUD Fund and expanding its geographical scope to cover 8 more economies, including Belt and Road countries. We will also enhance promotion and facilitate the participation of companies in exhibitions and export marketing activities through EasyBud. Sixth, increasing financing support for local e-commerce businesses and expanding the coverage of free buyer credit checks through the Hong Kong Export Credit and Insurance Corporation. Seventh, setting up the Economic and Trade Express, joining the efforts of ETOs and overseas offices of Invest Hong Kong and HKTDC to form a functional platform, encouraging local SMEs and startups to conduct more overseas visits, exploring business opportunities while bringing in more enterprises to invest in and establish businesses in Hong Kong. Eighth, enhancing Cyberport's digital transformation support pilot program to provide SMEs with subsidies on a matching basis to empower enterprises to apply AI and cybersecurity solutions. Ninth, supporting the continued organization of the Hong Kong Shopping Festival, covering the mainland and ASEAN e-commerce market over the next 3 years to promote Hong Kong brands. 10th, strengthening training and information services through the 4 SME centers, the mentorship program of the Trade and Industry Development, the e-commerce express under the HKTDC. We will also implement the Creativity e-commerce Beyond Limits program and provide one-stop business matching and referral services to strengthen the interface between Hong Kong firms and e-commerce service providers to enhance the competitiveness of Hong Kong products on cross-border e-commerce platforms. 11th, we will launch a 2-year pilot scheme to support local small and medium INT enterprises with patent evaluation, diversifying the economy, developing the food industry. Food from Hong Kong as a brand enjoys a good reputation. Apart from facilitating the sale of such food to the mainland. The government has also reserved land near the Heyuan boundary control point to promote the food industry, including wholesale processing and trading. In the long run, it may develop into a food industrial park to promote food production plus tourism. The government will promote the competitiveness of local produce, introducing a unified brand for local agricultural and fisheries products to enhance food product awareness and brand value, promoting the development of the agriculture and fisheries industries. The marine economy has enormous potential, and fisheries is among its components. The government will issue culture licenses for new fish culture zones and provide deep-sea cages for rental by the fisheries industry. Within 15 years, we will increase local mariculture production by tenfold. We will also promote modernized agriculture. The government will also facilitate the livestock sector to construct the first environmentally friendly multi-story pig farm in Luowu. It will take forward the agricultural park phase 2 development and promote leisure farming and fisheries, promoting a pet-friendly culture. Government statistics show that more than 240,000 households in Hong Kong keep cats and dogs as pets. The pets amount to more than 400,000. That generates an enormous consumption market, including food and products, healthcare, insurance, grooming, training, and more. In recent years, the business sector and transport operators have developed pet-friendly premises and travel arrangements. The government supports the business sector in offering pet-friendly spaces to create new opportunities for consumption. The government will introduce a licensing arrangement allowing operators to let dogs enter their food premises. Clear signage will be put up by permitted restaurants so that customers know dogs are allowed. Pet-friendly restaurants will create new business opportunities for the industry. Labor support and protection. In the face of accelerated industrial transformation and ever-evolving technological development, our workforce must continuously acquire new skills and seize new opportunities. We will ensure the employment priority of local workers and rigorously combat illegal employment. To enhance the competitiveness of Hong Kong's workforce and enlarge the talent pool, we will reform the Employees Retraining Board and optimize the Employment Allowance Pilot Scheme. We will strengthen labor protection, including protecting digital platform workers and enhancing occupational safety and health. Ensuring employment priority of local workers. As our population continues to age, Hong Kong faces a declining labor force. Importing labor on an appropriate scale helps ease manpower shortages and serves Hong Kong's overall interests. To ensure the employment priority of local workers, we will take measures to combat the abuse of the enhanced supplementary labor scheme starting tomorrow. When applying to import waiters, waitresses, and junior cooks under the ESLS, employers will be required to extend the local recruitment process from 4 weeks to 6 weeks, during which they must once a week attend an on-site job fair organized by the Labor Department. Second, implement the manning ratio requirement more stringently, such that it is calculated on posts being applied for, but not on all posts engaged by an employer. In other words, an employer applying to import a waiter or waitress and a junior cook must have already employed 2 local full-time waiters or waitresses and 2 local full-time junior cooks. The above measures aim to combat abuse in a targeted manner, focusing on job categories with more imported workers, while ensuring businesses with genuine difficulties in local recruitment are allowed to import supplementary labor in an orderly manner to avoid business closures and collateral damage to existing employees who could lose their jobs. In addition, the Labor and Welfare Bureau has just begun a midterm update of the manpower projection with a focus on analyzing data of industries with a large number of imported labor. The update will be completed in 2026. The LWB will give priority to analyzing the data so that they can provide the findings in advance. The government will step up efforts to combat illegal employment, establish a hotline for reporting illegal workers, strengthen intelligence collection, and mount interdepartmental joint enforcement operations to safeguard the employment opportunities for local workers, reforming the Employees Retraining Board and strengthening local skills training. In my last policy address, I announced the reform of the ERB. Since early this year, the ERB has enhanced such services as training and career planning and outlined an initial reform roadmap for the next 3 years. The ERB will strengthen its industry consultative mechanism and identify demand for and gaps in core skills in a targeted manner to devise a skills-based training framework. It will work with higher education institutions and guide other training bodies in developing courses of various types and levels to fill the skill gaps. Now, for sectors with a higher unemployment rate, there will be dedicated support. In the future, the ERB will launch micro-credential courses recognized by industries. This is to give greater flexibility to trainees so that trainees can leverage the flexible modes of learning. When the ERB finalizes the full implementation of the new arrangement, the government will attend the Employees Retraining Ordinance accordingly. In July last year, the Labor Department launched the 3-year Reemployment Allowance Pilot Scheme. The scheme has been well received, with over 50,000 participants and more than 27,000 placements recorded as of August this year. The LD will continue to collect and collate information and data on the participants and placement of the scheme, conducting a midterm review in the first quarter of next year, along with the employment program for the elderly and middle-aged, to explore measures promoting silver employment. Annual review of the minimum wage. The government has agreed to the new mechanism of adopting a formula for implementing the annual review of the statutory minimum wage rate proposed by the Minimum Wage Commission. The first such rate under the new mechanism will take effect on the 1st of May 2026. Protecting digital platform workers. The prevalence of digital platforms, such as those providing food and goods delivery services, has brought convenience to the public and created job opportunities. The government will improve the work injury compensation mechanism for digital platform workers through legislation and continue to make good use of the Tripartite Committee for the digital platform industry to discuss issues of concern to the stakeholders. Enhancing occupational safety and health. We saw a 30% drop in the number of fatal construction accidents in 2024 compared with 2023. The LD will continue to step up inspection and enforcement, promotion and publicity, as well as education and training to build a stronger OSH culture and reduce accidents. The department will also make good use of innovative technology and AI, such as using drones to enhance inspection and evidence collection and support the industry in developing technology products that enhance OSH. Social welfare. Targeted poverty relief. This means the government will direct resources to those most in need. The measures include, first, enriching activities of the Strive and Rise Alumni Club with $10 million funding from the HKJC, providing young people with training and experience that integrate Hong Kong pop culture and traditional Chinese art. and injecting $180 million into the Child Development Fund to continue implementing projects promoting the long-term development of upper primary students from disadvantaged communities, and further enhancing different elements of the project by drawing on the successful experience of the Strive and Rise program. With the view to reducing intergenerational poverty, we will set up 6 additional community living rooms. Altogether, we have 9 CLRs, and they're expected to benefit 7,000 SDU households, serving over 1.4 million attendances. Enhancing the school-based after-school care service scheme by uncapping the number of places to support primary students and parents in need. Fourth, rolling out the Co-Build a Caring Society funding scheme to encourage family offices involved in philanthropic endeavors to provide resources. Fifth, providing time-limited cash incentives on a pilot basis for households leaving the comprehensive Social Security assistance and eligible for the Working Family Allowance to promote self-reliance. In mid-2026, we will publish the report on impact of targeted poverty alleviation strategy, care for the elderly. The government will continue to adhere to the principle of promoting aging in place as the core, with institutional care as backup. 11 measures will be introduced. First, introducing the total number of community care service vouchers for the elderly by 4,000 to 16,000. We will set up 3 new neighborhood elderly centers to strengthen support at the district level. They're expected to serve some 3,000 elderly persons annually. On a pilot basis, leasing out newly built government welfare facilities to allow service operators greater flexibility in offering daycare and support services for the elderly. Fourth, enhancing the integrated discharge support program for elderly patients to provide social welfare service support for discharged seniors. Fifth, providing about 700 new subsidized residential care service places. Sixth, increasing the total number of residential care service vouchers for seniors by 1,000 to 7,000. Seventh, subsidizing eligible serving health workers of residential care homes to enroll in the new professional diploma program for health and care practitioners, nurturing dedicated professionals. Eighth, launching a pilot scheme by the end of the year to subsidize elderly CSSA recipients choosing to retire in Guangdong to reside in designated residential care homes for the elderly. This is to enhance their quality of life. Each eligible senior will get a monthly subsidy of $5,000, subject to a quota of 1,000. Ninth, expanding continuously the residential care service scheme in Guangdong. Starting from October, the number of participating RCHEs in the mainland will go up from 15 to 24, while the number of cities covered will go up from 6 to 8. We will also launch a 2-year pilot scheme arrangement by the end of the year to share part of the medical expenses that Hong Kong elderly participants of the residential care services scheme in Guangdong need to bear on their own under the National Basic Medical Insurance Policy. Finally, helping Hong Kong elderly recipients retiring in Guangdong and Fujian provinces by providing an option to receive government assistance directly through their bank accounts with designated mainland account. Carers play an important role in supporting elderly persons and persons with disabilities. When carers are given appropriate support to ease their physical and mental stress, they are better able to take care of seniors and PWDs. Current measures include providing allowances for carers from low-income families, enhancing respite services to give carers a break, setting up a round-the-clock hotline manned by social workers, launching a one-stop information gateway, and organize large-scale publicity and public education activities. The government will earmark an annual recurrent expenditure of $500 million to roll out a series of measures to enhance support for carers, including launching the first phase of the Carer Support Data Platform, which initially connects the data of the SWD, the HA, and the HAHA, and progressively connecting the data of more government departments and public organizations to expand the Carer Support Data Platform. Second, upon learning from the HA that a high-risk carer has been hospitalized, The SWD will arrange outreach to the care recipients and offer emergency support according to their needs. Third, consolidating the data of the HAHA and the SWD to identify high-risk carers of elderly persons and carers of PWDs, as well as singleton or doubleton elderly households lacking community support. Care teams will be deployed to conduct visits. Fourth, we will continue to implement the care team scheme on supporting elderly and carers for 3 years. They will help those seniors install emergency alarm systems. Fifth, we will install an intelligent accident detection system. Sixth, we will continue the implementation of the support for carers project for 3 years and with a view to providing training for frontline property management personnel in assisting carers in need. Seventh, we will enhance the existing AI chatbot function of the information gate for carers. Support for persons in rehabilitation. The government will work with universities to formulate guidelines for consumers of rehabilitation products, including electric wheelchairs, electric smart beds, and robotic exoskeletons as pilot items. The guidelines will set up basic technical and operational requirements of rehabilitation products to assist the elderly, PWDs, and their carers in selecting suitable products. There will be 80 extra places under the Bought Place scheme for private residential care homes for PWDs, 220 places at special childcare centers, 100 places at day activity centers, and 50 places at hostels for severely mentally handicapped persons. Support for aging persons with disabilities. In 2026, the government will progressively introduce one-stop support and care services at hostels for severely and moderately mentally handicapped persons, and increase the number of extended care places at hostels co-located with DACs or integrated vocational rehabilitation services centers. These measures will free up about 700 day rehabilitation training places, providing day training for PWDs living in the community and easing the pressure on carers. Social development. Establishing a working group on aging society strategies. Aging is a global issue. By 2046, people aged 65 and above will make up 36% of our total population. To tackle challenges of an aging society, the government will set up a working group on aging society strategies. Under the steer of the Deputy Chief Secretary for Administration to coordinate the efforts of various bureaus in formulating the relevant strategy responses. Aside from covering areas such as elderly care, healthcare, housing, culture and leisure, and germ technology, the working group will consider promoting the further development of silver economy. The working group will take into account the views of the Elderly Commission, and this work will involve all 15 bureaus in the work. The report will be submitted next year. Promoting women's development. We will increase the annual funding of the Women Empowerment Fund from $20 million to $30 million. Next year, the government will also host the second Family and Women Development Summit, Hong Kong, promoting fertility. The current term government has shifted from the previous non-interventionist policy. In 2023, the government launched a package of measures. The measures include tax deduction ceiling for home loan interest or domestic rent, a new tax deduction for medical expenses or assisted reproductive services, and also higher basic child allowances. We have also launched various support measures, such as launching the Families with Newborns Allocation Priority Scheme to shorten the waiting time by a year for PRH applicants with newborns, introducing the Families with Newborn Flat Selection Priority Scheme, providing additional places for childcare services, extending the after-school care program for pre-primary children to all districts of Hong Kong, and introducing the newborn baby bonus of $20,000. As at the end of August, more than 5,300 PRH applications had their waiting time reduced by 1 year under the Families with Newborns Allocation Priority Scheme. In the recent HOS sale exercise with flat selection concluded in August, over 800 families with newborns purchased their flats under the Families with Newborns Flat Selection Priority Scheme. The number of newborn babies has decreased for 6 years in a row since 2017. But there was an upward trend in 2023 and 2024. In 2024, there was a significant increase in the number of newborns, a year-on-year increase of about 3,500 babies, or about 11%. That's 36,700 babies in total. We will implement further measures to promote fertility. They include extending the claim period of additional child allowance for newborns from 1 year to 2 years, starting from the year of assessment 2026 to 27. A taxpayer may claim twice the allowance for each child in the first 2 years following childbirth. This measure is applicable to all children under the age of 2 by the end of the year of assessment. Second, further enhancing infant and day child care service. 15 new aid child care centers will be set up over the next 3 years to provide about 1,500 day care service places for children, almost doubling the existing supply. The SWD will also allocate more care service places for infants and toddlers from birth to 2 years old as appropriate. Third, enhancing the school-based after-school care service scheme within this school year. By removing the cap on the number of places to make it easier for parents to take up jobs. Fourth, setting up dedicated counters for pregnant women to facilitate the waiting for medical services. The PHC Commission will work with the Family Planning Association of Hong Kong, the MCHCs under the DH, as well as the obstetrics and gynecology departments of the HA in enhancing health education and services for women during pregnancy, as well as antenatal and postnatal stages, providing them with practical information. The Council on Human Reproductive Technology has also made amendments to the legislation. While the HA will continue to increase the service quota for assisted reproductive service from 1,100 treatment cycles 2 years ago to 1,500 treatment cycles in 2025 to 2026. We will also foster a family-friendly culture. We will continue to encourage more employers through the Good Employer Charter to adopt family-friendly employment practices. The government will set up an integrated family service center in Kutong North NDA in the northern metropolis to support families and children in the area. We will support and educate divorced or separate parents to collaborate in shouldering continuous and joint parental responsibilities in raising the children. We will also offer transitional support to young people who no longer receive residential child care services but lack family support. To complement the implementation of the mandatory reporting of child abuse ordinance, the government has promulgated the Guide for Mandated Reporters to assist mandated reporters in mastering child protection principles, and will continue to provide training and relevant resources for specified professionals from the social welfare, education, and healthcare sectors. The EDB will step up promotion of positive parenting education. For children with special needs receiving on-site preschool rehabilitation services, the government will provide bridging and support services during their first term in primary school. Support for ethnic minorities. Ethnic minorities, or EMs, are an important members of the Hong Kong community. The government has been striving to support EMs on various fronts. The HAD will set up one additional EM care center or EM care team under the support service centers serving the Northern Islands districts respectively. The department will also establish a youth network and a women's network at the 10 support service centers for EMs to organize activities specifically for EM youth and women. This year, the government will also set up an additional interpretation and translation service center for EMs. We will strengthen the promotion of messages and radio programs related to racial integration. The Health Bureau will also run a pilot project of providing emotional support and counseling services for EMs through a service center. We will continue the government department internship program for EM post-secondary students and provide basic workplace Chinese training. Government departments may design their own job-oriented language tests to provide an additional channel for applicants who meet language proficiency appointments. We will also continue to disseminate government recruitment information to EMs to attract talent from different backgrounds to join the civil service. In the 2026-27 school year, the Hanyu 水平考试 Chinese proficiency test learning materials tailored for non-Chinese speaking students will be extended from the upper primary level to the junior secondary level. We will also continue to provide after-school Chinese language courses and organize cross-school teacher learning communities, care teams. These care teams will begin their second term of service. We have set up 3 additional care teams and revised the KPIs for the second term of service. To enable care teams to continuously enhance their services, the government has increased the subsidy by 50% in accordance with last year's policy address and provided these care teams with additional administrative support, including hiring administrative staff. As for emergency support, we will enhance training so that care teams can continue to strengthen ties with government departments, public utilities, and district organizations. Improving building management. To achieve this, the HAD will implement a number of measures, including establishing working groups under DCs, to share experience, expanding the pilot scheme on joint property management to other districts based on its effectiveness, and reviewing the building management ordinance. We will enhance the inspection and testing procedures for handling water seepage problems by using technology to expedite the identification of the seepage situation and delineate the responsibility, requiring owners to inspect and rectify within a specified time. Otherwise, the government will take further action and recover costs from owners. This will prompt owners to fulfill their obligations in properly maintaining their properties. For old buildings, we will also introduce an Internet of Things fire detection system to replace traditional fire service installations and equipment. Closing remarks. Today, Hong Kong is at the critical juncture of advancing from stability to prosperity. We are moving through an economic transition. This is an irreversible process. This is an essential process for a stronger and more robust economy in the future. Over the decades, Hong Kong has undergone multiple economic transitions. Once, the bustling Sheung night market sold paraffin lamps that were big business until modern malls made them unnecessary. Bustling factories that once competed for female labor have since relocated their production lines to the mainland, opening new horizons for the manufacturers. Pagers, once a common sight in every hand, have been replaced by smartphones, leaving behind empty pager shops as relics of a past era. Each change brought a stronger economy and higher income for the people. These transformations were possible because generations of Hong Kong people have worked hard, stayed flexible, and never given up. That grit is part of our DNA. we must not be complacent, nor should we underestimate our own capabilities. In the past 3 years, Hong Kong has climbed higher thanks to the teamwork of the government and the community. We have risen 1 spot to become the world's 3rd largest international financial center, and our overall competitiveness has jumped 4 places to also rank 3rd globally. In talent competitiveness, we have left 12 spots, now sitting at 4th in the world. The number of registered local companies has hit a record high, as has the number of non-local companies setting up operations in Hong Kong. The median household income has grown by 11% as well, an increase of $3,000. These numbers and ranks tell a story. They point to international confidence and also our city's vibrancy and stability. The world is changing. Hong Kong faces challenges and is also presented with opportunities in this changing world. Our country is the world's 2nd largest economy, is our staunchest supporter and the source of our biggest opportunities. Combined with Hong Kong's international prospects, our opportunities far outweigh the challenges. By working together, innovating, embracing reform, we will turn our beloved Hong Kong into an even better home for everyone. The Pearl of the Orient will keep shining brighter than ever before. Thank you, President. The Chief Executive has delivered the policy address to the Council and now leaves the chamber. Members, please stand up.